shut up. If I wanted to start earlier, I'll start earlier. So shut up. Hell? Hey, share the show. Copy the link and paste it in Discord servers around. Come on, we need a decent audience today. We need a lot of people, so we can expose the lies. Boom.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. And see, I knew I forgot something. I was charging my Whoa, no camera? No camera video? There you go. I was charging my Bluetooth so I can listen to the show. So I can listen to the other participants on the show. And I forgot to grab it. So I'm gonna run and grab it. I'll leave you with the frogs. All right, give me 10 seconds. And this is why sometimes I don't start early because I always forget some shit around. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Let's see if this is gonna work. So hang in there. Well, hello, I'm new. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here in the Daily Boom. Please, boom like now. Like this video. If you're watching this live or recorded, it's always good. Why don't I see the why don't I see the options for the Bluetooth? Well, I'm gonna have to search it. Bluetooth. So hit like on this video, share the show. That is very important. Actually, there's something more important than clicking like and sharing the show, and it is to give me money. If you give me money, the festivities will continue to happen. So please, so we can carry on and keep the Daily Boom and the globe cult alive. It is connecting right now. So let's see if this is gonna work. We shall see. My lighter, a lighter that I had broke, got busted. Uh-oh, that didn't work. I had to disconnect it with my other phone device. We're getting ready. Sorry, I'm working with my own technical difficulties here. So let me try one more time. It was connected. There you go, connected. It was connected in another phone device. But I test now uh, if it's working both. Oh, okay. Done switch. Let's see what we got here. Let me open a YouTube video, whatever, so I can listen to it and see what I can hear. All right, and I'll be with you in one moment. What do we have over here? Perfect. This is perfect. Thank you very much. Now we are on, we are live, and I think that you all can see me, my ugly mug on the YouTube land. The hair is growing. It's been a week since I get rid of the hair, but it's growing very fast. The face is also growing, man. It's all right. Looking good, man. I feel comfy. Feel fresh. So I broke my lighter. I got one of these little barbecue lighter for my cheap cigars. All right. That's why I started a little earlier, so you don't see me doing all this process on checking out the microphone, the headset, cigarette, a drink. Uh, but sorry, you had to see that. Thank you very much for being here today. I want to welcome anybody that want to join in the Daily Boom Discord server. That is where the festivities will take place. And in the YouTube land, feel free to hang out in the YouTube chat box, have fun, and troll responsibly each other. No personal attacks. Attack personally, but no personal attacks, if you know what I mean. If I say, you know what, you can go fuck yourself, that is good. That is good. That is very, very you and me. But if because I told you go fuck yourself, you want to answer back to me, your sister, or fuck your sister, or your mom, or your brother, or your son, or your aunt. No, that's a big no. You will definitely get time out. You will maybe get blocked and deleted from the channel if you do that. If you bring somebody from the outside, from your from your circle, family circle, and the outside. It's you, it's me over here in the chat. We're gonna go at each other. You don't have to bring somebody from the outside. That's the personal issues that I do not allow in this channel. You know what I mean? So there you go. Citizen 9 in the house. Stefan Mudd, Charlie Welch, Kuso, Devil's Advocate, John Mungus, Earth is Live, Turs B, Marcus Dresden, Master Colleague. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. If you guys saw the thumbnail was supposed to say Taboo and John D lies, lying for flat Earth. And we will take a look at the latest upload by the channel Taboo Conspiracy. And I will expose to you some lies that were told in that video. Today, live and now. We're gonna go right ahead. Oh, I really have to say this, not as a joke, at the intro. I need your support, guys. I need your help. So if you can help me out via PayPal, that will be awesome. If you cannot help me out via PayPal, help me out via Super Chat. I'd really appreciate it. Uh, I got a I got the electric bill coming up in next week, and I just don't have it. Just don't have it. So any little bit helps. However, you guys can help me out. Just let me know, and I'll give you a shout out as soon as possible. So we're gonna screen share. Gonna share the lies from Dr. John D. and Taboo conspiracy. What I'm trying to do is screen share first so I can mute my camera and go at it. All right, let me throw this thumbnail in here so I can put up something in the background, see if it's working, and we will take it from there. How are you guys today? Is it hot where you at? All right, because we have 27 of you right here, right now. Also join us, Tusk, Mr. Victory's Radio. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to type, where are you? Where are you from? Where do you come from? You know what? Actually, I don't know where some of you are from, and some of the people in the chat box and in the Discord, we don't know where each other is from. So, gonna go in the chat box from Tybo. Boom from Florida, but also boom from Puerto Rico. Actually, both counts. I am living in Florida right now, but I am from Puerto Rico 100%. Lived 30 years of my life there. The majority of my life lived there, and I now live in Florida. So, yeah, boom from Florida, but also boom from Puerto Rico representing. No more than a tattoo that says hecho en Puerto Rico. That means made in Puerto Rico. All right, let me screen share and I'll give you your proper shout outs. And I say, so everybody type where you're from. And we give a shout out to your place. It's right there. See what we got. Screen share is up. So I'll mute my camera and I'll share it for you. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Somebody join here. I heard a ding dong. I heard a click. All right. We have from New Jersey. Shout out to New Jersey. Justin Franks, what's up? You're from New Jersey. I didn't know. You see? Perfect. New Jersey. You also from New Jersey, USA, Real Signals. What the hell? Really? See? Do you guys know that each other is from New Jersey? Check, check. Bogov, Earth is live and thirst. If you want to say something, so I want to make sure if I can hear you via the Bluetooth.
Yeah, check, check.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Check, check.
Yes, sir. A little low in the low side. Stefan Mudd is from Alesund, Norway. Alesund. Alesund. That's how I read it. And we got a boom from North Rhine, Westphalia. North Rhine, Westphalia in Germany. Wow. Marcus in Germany representing Renfrew, Scotland. Boom. Shout out to tours. Westchester County, New Jersey, New York. Oh, Westchester County in New York, next door to CC. And Helsingborg, Denmark. Thank you very much. Hey, you see, now you can make a contact. Like right now, you can get Real Cygnus and Justin Franks to hang out together, meet up, and make videos for us over there in New Jersey. Boom. How you doing, Bogov, Brian Mabbit? Earth is live. Turns.
Shemai, buddy.
What up, man? How you doing?
Are you going to be playing this video?
Yes, I'm gonna first play this video, and I have then I got a little something to share. So I will encourage you to please click on my screen share, because I will be sharing a 3-minute video from the Taboo Conspiracy channel titled Dr. John D Destroys the Globe. And I'm gonna play it right now.
For the flat earth. First, Jay told me today has been a great day for the flat earth. First, Jay Tolan Media One gave us another incredible infrared video.
We're not gonna look at the Jay Tolan today, so we're gonna skip that.
Our PhD friend has given us more undeniable evidence that we do indeed live on a flat earth. I've been sharing his.
That is very hardcore commitment. Undeniable proof that we live in a flat earth. What undeniable would what? How can you define undeniable, Brian Mabbit?
Would that be something you can't deny?
What if I am told as a undeniable is a lie, and I know it's a lie and I can prove it's a lie? Can I deny it then, even if they say that it's undeniable? They say they got something undeniable for me, but if what they show me is a lie, I can deny it, and I'm in the right to deny it. Then it's just not undeniable anymore. Do you agree, Brian?
If you've got evidence to the contrary, yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. You agreed with that, guys? Bogov, Earth's Life?
Absolutely.
Yep. Very cool. All right, here we go.
Undeniable evidence that we do indeed live on a flat earth. I've been sharing his work for years now. I'll have a link in the description to Dr. John's video, where you can subscribe and watch his much more detailed video. This is just a quick summary. The observation took place in England in the city of Worthing. There are two locations here that are important for our analysis. First is Selsey, located here. Selsey was 17.5 miles, or 28.1 kilometers away from Dr. John. The other location is the Isle of Wight, located here. The Isle of Wight was a huge 39.2 miles, or 63 kilometers away. The camera was very low at 3.25 feet above the water. According to the globe model, the horizon, or the Earth's bowl.
What do you to do a long distance observation like this, as far as 17 plus miles and 30 plus miles? What was did you see anything that is going to be an issue here, Vivo?
He's using the wrong curve calculator, and he's going to ignore refraction.
And look at the height. I mean, look at the height. Looking at 30 plus miles away observation at 3 feet of 3 less than 4 feet above the water.
Yeah. Where there's going to
That's
be the most
crazy.
refraction.
Yeah, so close to the surface. It's gonna be all kinds of refraction. But you know what? I'm gonna just play their game, and I'm gonna just 100% ignore refraction. I'm gonna say that what we have no air, we have no atmospheric conditions, there's no refraction, there's no distortion, and what we see is what we get. I'm gonna play their game, and still I can prove them wrong 100%. And I did this yesterday on my end. I said, dude, I struggled to find the location. I wanted to make sure that I got the correct location, because let me play this a little bit. Show you why.
Should have begun obstructing distant objects at a mere 2.2 miles. Remember, Selsey was 17.5 miles away.
So, I mean, as you can see here, there's not much reference. Now, I can just believe and say, all right, well, if he was here in the wording selling club, I don't know, I just believe in and take his word for it. But I mean, it was hard to find this exact location. I actually found this location on Google Earth, and I cannot be switching back and forth to Google Earth and this YouTube. So I'll open it after we watch the video, the Google Earth, and then we can switch. Uh, it didn't look like this. Why? Because I mean, obviously this is a super low tide. Because in the normal day, what is on Google Earth, on the street views, on the pictures, on the public, the people that share the pictures on Google Earth, there was never a day like this. So it looked slightly different, but it's actually in the same place. Not taken from this video, but taken from his original video. He actually does a 360 panorama, and I found that exact location on Google Earth. So this is fair that he is actually taking the observation from here. Yeah, and that's not the lie. The lie that I'm gonna tell you is
kilometers as the horizon was beyond is many.
Right here.
Look at the video evidence.
Okay,
this is Selzy.
This is Selzy, and I don't necessarily disagree, even though I don't know, it looks sketchy right here. But you know what? I'm gonna give him that this is the 17.5 miles. Now, what he's saying next, that the horizon is obviously behind it. That's what he's saying, which
17.5 miles away, and the horizon is many miles beyond it.
The horizon is many miles beyond it. Why does he get that from? He's just pulled that out of his ass when he said the horizon is many miles behind it. Because the horizon is actually the Isle of whatever White. He mentioned the name in a minute. This back here, and the funny part is coming right now. He say, well, it is impossible to see this on a globe.
Beyond Selzy, not 1 inch of curvature is present. But according to the globe model, 156 feet of Selzy should have been hidden. None of it is hidden. There is no Earth bulge. This footage is simply impossible under the globe. Now, beyond Selzy is the Isle of Wight. Here, the Isle.
First lie on your face on the screen, 39.2 miles away. Do you know that this 39.2 miles away is like halfway into the Isle of Wight, like way beyond to the shore of the Isle of Wight is like 30 miles, maybe 31 or 32 miles. To the other shore at the end is like 33 miles. It's nowhere near 39 miles. Oh, Jose, it's still 30 plus miles. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, perfect. But you cannot deceive me with telling me something is the length, what I'm looking at is further away than what actually is. And that is not the actual lie. The lie is coming
was
right
39.2 miles away from the camera.
This is the lie. But
under the globe, 913 feet should have been hidden behind the Earth's bulge.
Now
the Isle of Wight behind Selzy was only 330 feet high, but it's still visible.
Wait, what did he say? Well, I want to hear that 1 second.
Behind Selzy was only 330 feet high, but it's still visible. Behind Selzy was only 330 feet high, but it's still visible.
Did he say that this Isle of Wight is 330 feet high?
I think that's what he's saying. That's what I heard.
I heard. Let me try one more time just to make sure.
Behind Selzy was only 330 feet high, but it's still visible. The top of that land should be nearly 600 feet below the Earth bulge.
So he said that the 330 feet high back here, right? And now,
no matter how you look at it, the globe fails miserably. Please, open your eyes.
Look at this landscape.
They lied to us about the Earth we live on.
Look, this is perfectly exactly what we should see in a globe. This, from 30 plus miles away. Exactly what we should see in a globe. Now, a couple things to point out. The distance that I'm gonna show you in the Google Earth that he said 39 miles is a lie. It's less than 39 miles. The height that he said 330 feet high is a lie because it's actually about 250 meters 250 meters, that's like 800 plus feet. So he say 330 feet. Well, where are the other 500 feet that you forgot to mention? Because well, actually in Google Earth shows it's about 240 meters. That's like 800 feet, easy plus. So don't worry about it. I'm gonna show you that
Don't let them get away
in a
with it.
second.
And
I'm not gonna let you get away with it. Thank you very much. I'm gonna share the link to this video in the YouTube over here, and we're gonna go to the original just to make sure that we got the observer in the correct location. Thoughts, guys, so far. Even let's say we didn't verify any of this. Let's say we believe him where he was, the distances of the things and the height and the curve calculator and all. Did you see any issues with it or not?
So for one, why use such a low quality image with where we can't really see anything? I mean, you see some land
Okay,
masses, but like
Uh,
I agree.
I wouldn't use this as
Hold
some
on.
sort of proof.
He says that he can see 30 miles. He can't see 3 miles. Barely. Now, let's say he says he's 3.5 feet above the water and he see the horizon beyond Celsius. That means
Yeah,
there's no place in Celsius that is higher on his flat Earth, not on the globe. On his flat Earth, there is no place in Celsius that is higher than 3.5 feet if he can't see above it. It's a crock of bullshit. He doesn't see even 5
yes.
miles there.
Crock of bullshit indeed. Yeah. Hey, look at that, Brian Peck. Thank you. It's about 800 feet, right? I mean, I say about 100 plus feet. So I guess 241 meters is 790 feet. I wasn't too bad. But he said 350 feet. I mean, 330 or something. So, yeah, he's way off. All right. Over here, let me mute it. He shows 360 over here. And I'm going to take it. Let's see what we got. Ooh. And he's actually, I mean, relative close to the water. Now, I don't know if this is, I mean, this is water that is just sitting in there as the tide went low and it just accumulated down here. This might be higher than the actual sea level because he's not in the actual, I mean, he's not out there where the water is. So this is little water just holding here contained. So even though it's very close to the water, the least that I can give him is 4 feet or 5 feet above the water because this is an extra feet that just this little bit of high up. It wouldn't make any difference anyway. It wouldn't make any difference. Now, how do I know he's in the right location? Because of this right here, this building and these houses. I actually found a street view and I can see exactly this. So let's look at his 360 first and then we'll look in the Google Earth and see. So but it wouldn't make any difference. Let's give it just the 3.5 feet. Even I mean, it is what it is. It's 4 feet, but 3.5 is good. All right, we gotta open Google Earth. Fuck.
But that's
That
not where
is
he's standing when he sees the horizon beyond Celsius, supposedly. That's not where he is.
he is. This is the same video. This is the same video.
Well,
Look,
do you
that's
see
the
the
same.
horizon beyond?
No, I don't see the horizon. That's the land. That's whatever island behind it. There's no horizon behind it. This little strip of land is just sitting in the horizon, probably. I mean, if he want to claim that this blur and this mess back here is the horizon, all I see is the land behind it. That is about 30 miles away. I don't see the horizon behind this. Or do you? Do you think that's the horizon behind it, Jake?
There is a time that we can see the people walk in front of the camera.
Oh, I didn't see that. Google Earth. We have Google Earth. I gotta change my screen share. If you guys aren't watching, I got it right here on my screen share. Should be able to see it. Let me know.
Yeah, we see.
Uh, and I marked. I did a new mark over here titled Jundi. So we're gonna go over here. I named this Tom Tag Jundi. Okay, and this right here is the Wording Selling Club, where he say he was on Google Earth. So if we go right here to the street view or something, let me put this man right here and see what we see. Look, it's that house. We go. Let me go over here to the other side. That slightly different spot. There's a spot right here. What the fuck is this? We can see the house like exactly, like almost exactly in the, like in the. So I'm gonna give it to him, unless you guys disagree with me. You guys don't think that that's what he's looking at? You guys think that's kind of that house that he was looking at? You get the shape and the little antenna.
Yeah, it could be the place. I'm not arguing about the place at all.
Yeah, I think he's much further out for the beach, though. I think that's a higher tide. I think the tide goes out much
Yeah, yeah,
further
yeah.
than that. Yeah, and he's away out on
Oh, this
the.
side was high.
Yeah, he's away out past the end of that dock and away out when the water goes out. Yeah.
Yes, yes. He way over. Yeah, he's way back. Go ahead.
I think regardless of his location, I don't think he knows exactly how much of the island he's actually seeing.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
He's about 5-6 foot lower than that camera from what do you call it, Google Map. He's about 5-6 foot lower, so that's going to change his what he sees. Also, if he has got his distances and heights correct, it will be the first flat earther that's ever done that.
Yeah. So if we then throw a line over here, I gotta go a little further so we can know that in the. So yeah, it's actually we can see. Fuck. We can see if he's looking this way, you're gonna be seeing this and that, unless, and just entertain me for a minute. We get this really close to the water over here somewhere. Where's the
You
point?
can see there's
I'm
two
not.
headlands
I'm not too
there.
good with this. Sorry.
You can see there's two headlands there in front of you. I think he's seeing the two headlands. I don't think the thing behind the first dark headland is any island. I think it's the two headlands you can see just in the beach. And if you go scrolling down the beach, you'll see there's two headlands. He's looking at one and then past it to the next one. And he's mistaken that first one is the second headland and then saying he can see an island. I don't believe you can see anything there.
Like looking away from here, and you think he's looking at something like this, like a little bit of this first, and then he's looking at the second one. You think?
Yeah, if you scroll down the beach, you'll see there's a first headland jutting out, and it's only a small headland. I think that's what he's calling the main headland. You know what I mean? Saying it's 15 miles away or something. And I think it's just this bit here at the end of the beach. And then there's a second headland a bit further on, and he's calling that an island. See them? See that? You can see them now for that view. There's a jutting out headland, and then there's one beyond it.
This and
See it?
this These two.
Yeah, that they two. I think he's claiming they two are the two things that he's seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. This is that. This is what he's saying. He is seeing in the video. These two right here. So this is 17 miles, somewhere around here, and this is about 30 plus miles. So let's make sure draw a line.
That's something that we should identify quite easily in the video. It's like
Yeah.
trees, or I don't know, bunch of trees, but it's elevated well above the ground.
Okay.
Let me tell you which were in the video.
So if we're measuring over here, this is to the further away tip is about 17 and a half miles. Yeah. See, 17 and a half if we put it somewhere around here. That's right there. And then if we keep going from here, from that tip is to the land about 33 miles. Now to here is 30 miles that we can see this little bit of land behind it, or I mean, or somewhere around here, whatever is the highest peaks. And then there are some high peaks over here that are the highest ones that are somewhere around here in this neighborhood. So it's not too far, but about from 35 to 37 miles. Now, how do I know that? I'm just gonna point this. I'm just gonna click it right here so I can save.
In the original video at 350.
350. He said what? Oh, you give me a timestamp? Hold on.
Yes, timestamp, but
The
in the
only
original video.
okay. What I want to see is the height of these peaks and mountains, and see if it's true what he said that they are 330 feet. Look at the in the bottom over here at Google Earth. You can see the height, and this is not even 100% accurate. It's just a roughly. And look, 230, 234, 135. I got it. I got it. Do better. This is very, very high up. I hit a peak of 230. More around 230. 238 meters. 240 meters. So when you tell me that the height of this is 330 feet, that is a lie. Look, I think this one is higher. This spot right here is a lot higher. But same, 230 ish. Not accurate, but it's close. Chike, what do you want to see over here? Some kind of a tree or something,
In in the original video,
right?
I don't know if the other
Right.
one. Let me see if the other one has it.
I'm on it. Let me switch my screen share to the original video. Uh, and we are just looking at this very, oops, shit, very low view camera, low view, and uh, refraction is just not accounted. They're just doing this geometric thing going on over here. Check in the original video, you say 30 minutes, something,
350.
350. Oh, in the original video from John D.
Yes.
This one.
There, you see this?
Okay.
What's that? What we're looking at?
What is this? Wait, I gotta go back then and see where he's pointing at. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to this
And this
360.
is not down at the water, that's for sure.
Okay, let me go back all the way to see where he is located. If there's any cousins. All right, let's see this. What are those like little piers and stuff? Like piers that I saw on Google Earth.
Yeah, when the tide's right in, people use them to launch small boats, you know,
No, they're called
canoes, rowboats and stuff like that.
they're called groins, and they are there to stop the
Oh, yeah.
beach moving away. They're basically there to hold the beach in place and to stop it migrating.
It looked like there was a small jetty as well on one
Yeah,
of these
but
bits of the Caribbean. Yeah.
most of what we've seen are groins. They're quite common on a lot of British beaches, and it is to stop
Yeah, the
the
sand
beach
being
itself
swept away. Yeah, with the
being
tide.
swept away. Yeah.
So what, to stop erosion?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you'll find that it particularly where you've got quite flat beaches like this one, because where I used to go, sort of on the east coast, around the Wash, the beaches are very flat, and you tend to have these groins, and they'll go out from the beach sort of 20, 30 feet, and they generally have some sort of warning pole and a marker on the end so you can see it when the tides come in, and it is to stop coastal erosion, because otherwise the beach has a habit of just moving. It will just sort of shift along the beach.
Yeah, Jose, can you go back to where we see the people on the beach?
Mm-hmm.
Stop when we get in the first ones. Stop there. Yeah. So he's 3.5 foot above the water. Those must be midgets.
Yes.
If he can see above their head, the water above
Ah,
their head, they are midgets because he can't see anything that's at his feet over anything that is over 3.5 feet. Those must be midgets, all of them.
that's a good point. How does that work with the loss of optic, the optics and stuff that we understand nowadays? That's a kind of
Doesn't.
a new one right there.
I don't know.
If
We
he's
need
three and a
Gary
half feet,
Whitebenga.
how? Yeah.
We need
Let's
Gary
say
Whitebenga that
if
will
if he's
explain
got his
precisely
position and
why.
his height's right, he's the first flat earth to ever do
Damn,
that.
Thurs, why did you push through Chike in the end of his statement like that? So hardcore, man.
I'm going to go and do the dishes. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Hey, and thanks for the 1144 on PayPal. I just saw that, brother. For
No,
electric. Hey,
you're
thank
welcome.
you. I take it. Appreciate it.
I need explanation for this.
Do you think Gary is able to tell us what's going on here?
He
And
is the perspective expert, I think.
Well,
perspective
there is of course a simple
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah, we have to dig a hole and make sure we're looking perpendicular to the surface.
I have the explanation, Jose.
Hey, Bob. Okay, talk to us, man.
He lied about his position, which is pretty
Yep.
typical of flat earthers. That's the explanation.
Mm,
And that was an excellent pickup, by the way, because the horizon's going to be at about your eye level when you're so low to the ground.
right.
So anything that's taller than you are or your camera is should appear above the horizon. If it's well below the horizon, like you're seeing there, he's obviously well above them.
Right.
True. And now here is shown here. I don't know if you're watching my screen share, but I say earlier, this is a super low tide. He's choosing this, but this is just water accumulated here, the ponds of water, and then you got the sea over there. But this is a little bit higher, which it got a lot of water accumulated for the amount of rocks and debris that's in here. So this is not necessarily, this water is not necessarily joining to the sea. This could be higher than the actual beach in the sea.
Well, I have another hypothesis that water are not level at this place.
How about that? How about that? Yeah, it's so weird. So weird. Like something is off. Something is off in this location right here. What he's telling us. What's the timestamp? How is he 3.5 foot and all these people is under the horizon, under the horizon in the distance?
I told you they're midgets.
He lied about the 3.5 feet.
They're not just under the horizon, they're way under the horizon.
Yeah, look at this, all of these people. And they really believe that he is 3.5 feet when we are looking at
Maybe
this, when he's way above them.
maybe he's 3.5 feet from the ground, but he's not
From the
three and a
ground,
half
yeah.
feet above sea level.
No,
Yes.
he's
from the
not. He's
water.
not, because in a couple of seconds, a couple walk past him much closer to the camera.
True that. True that.
You see what he did, it's pretty obvious. He found it's obviously low tide because that's rock and such that has marine life on it. He found a tidal pool and he
Yep.
put the camera in the tidal pool and said that was sea level. It's not. It's probably 5-10 feet above sea level.
Probably easy.
And
And
what I think,
it will explain perfectly why do we see what we see. Not even accounting with refraction. If we want to give him the least amount of refraction, we can still see it with a few extra feet higher than what he say he is.
and what he sees there, I think it's also land that is, we can only see it now because the tide is so low. That's what he sees. It's very close. It's no near to 17 miles.
Yeah, I'm just hovering over the map over this over the terrain on right after the water. I'm not sharing the Google Earth. I don't want to keep switching, but it's showing 1 meter, 2 meter, 3, 4, and 5 meters. The higher I go, as for height, that little little hump of sand that we got there, and then it go up to 14 meters or whatever in the shore. So something's off with this tide and the accumulation of water over this area. So we got the sea, the water. We got the sand, like goes up, and then it just rests a little bit for a wider span, and that's probably where that little bit of water is accumulated where he's standing at. Maybe a few meters above the water, about 3 meters maybe. So 10 to 12 feet above the sea level makes more sense.
At
To
least
this
4
seconds we
meters.
move with it.
At least 4 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send them to do homework.
Yeah. Brian Peck is sharing this image. He say it looks like you should easily see the island. Easily, you should be able to see it. It's 790 feet all the way to the top, and you can see like way a lot of the island that they say it's impossible to see in the globe because it should be 600 plus feet hidden. Yeah, 600 plus feet hidden if you are at 3 foot above the surface of the water and no refraction. But account with refraction and account with higher than 3 feet, easily you can see it because it's actually over 600 plus feet, uh, the high of that land.
Yeah, he's took a picture where you can definitely see some of the island, but you've got no idea how much you can see because the sort of misty air, it's sort of cloudy and lots of humidity. It's probably a warm day, and you can't really tell how much you can see. So how can you make any calculation to see whether you're seeing the right amount or too much or not enough? You know.
Mm. How beautiful the thumbnails that they create. I mean, this is not, but this actually in the left, this clip, I grabbed it off one of their thumbnails and look how they show them just in the water with the maximum amount of refraction, and even a small wave can create an effect because there's small waves, 1.5 and 2 feet. So this is what they do, lying for flat Earth to say that they're able to see, to whistle their way out. They say, look, even a small wave can block you a big land in the background. Yeah, look at the height of your cameras in some of the observations you do. This is so fucking dishonest what they do. Lying for flat Earth is what they do. Go ahead.
Here's the bottom line, Jose. I really don't care about any of these observations. I stopped looking at them after Daryl started lying about them on these little short-term observations. If you want to give me an observation, show me 100 plus kilometers, shore to shore, identifiable shore. Then I'll look at it. Otherwise, I really don't care about any of these things. I don't even bother with them anymore.
Yeah, I didn't. It just caught my attention because I didn't even know that I was subscribed to Taboo Conspiracy, and he did that up last. I said, let me look at it, and I go like, yeah, this is so much bullshit that even me, that I am geography illiterate, I'm gonna probably locate their observer, their locations on the maps. I'm gonna throw lines and I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with it, and indeed I did. They lie about the distance thing because it wasn't as far as 39 miles. It was less. It was, yeah, 30 plus miles, but not 39 miles. Figured out that the height is not correct. It's way higher than 3.5 foot because he's not in the water in the sea over there. He's way inside. When the tide was low, he's just sitting in a little pond, a water accumulator over here. And he's not accounting for refraction, 0% refraction whatsoever. You can
That
see
what
that he's way above the 3.5 feet because of when you see the people. When you see this is how you know that he's way above 3.5 feet. Go ahead.
and that wasn't even low tide.
Yeah.
He low tide was an hour afterwards, so the tide's still going out.
Yeah. And the one of the biggest lies when he say that the highest point of that Isle of Wight was 330 feet. That's the biggest lie, because we demonstrated here that the highest, some of the highest points is 240 meters, not feet, meters, and that equals around 800 feet. So it's not
Really?
even that. Yeah.
I
Oh,
couldn't find anything
you
about
got Chris
the
Berry in
highest
the
peak.
chat saying all the wrong numbers, like they're correct again.
Yeah. You couldn't find what hike higher. What was the highest?
The highest I found was 164 meters.
Really? 240, 240, and 40 on the head by the left hand side of that land. You didn't see it when I showed you in real time here. You weren't seeing.
Ah, right, but that's indeed 30 should be 39 miles, maybe more.
Was, yeah,
It's
close to 39 miles.
215, 215.
240 in the head. It clicked to me. Get it closer, move it around, and you're gonna have higher peaks.
Hang on,
Still,
I'm just having a look at the Ordnance Survey map of the Isle of Wight, and that should tell me the height of all of these peaks. I'm seeing 143 meters, 164 meters, 147. So the highest I've seen so far, which was Garston's Down, is 164 meters on a trig point. I can't see anything higher at the moment.
Yeah, but the topographicalmap.com actually has it up to 242 meters. I just
Yeah.
Here we go. Shanklin Down is listed at 200. There's a trig point there at 235.
There you go. What's up, brother?
So how tall was he saying it that he thought it was?
300 feet.
Hang on a minute. Let's just there.
So what is that, like 90 meters?
Well, if we take the 235 in meters,
But I'll be back, guys. You guys can. No
Yeah, yeah.
problem. You can use it as long as you want and just find me there. Let me find something for my neighbor and I'll be back. You guys got the floor.
Okay.
I'll leave this image
Yeah.
up.
Well, Shanklin Down is 235 meters, which is 771 feet. So that's more than double what he was saying he thought it was.
Even if we gave him 3.5 feet, and even if we gave him 39 miles, even on just a day with minor refraction, you still can see them. You can still see it.
Yes.
Yeah, he was saying it should be missing 600 feet or something, so you shouldn't be able to see it. But you can
Well,
still
if
see it.
600 feet was missing, you've still got 170 odd feet left.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't tell how much is there, but you can still see it. But it's that blurry and that you can't tell how much you're seeing. And with his calculations, he didn't get them right. And I don't know if what effort has done any of these observations and made the correct calculations ever, you know.
By the way, has John D. ever said what his doctorate is in?
Yeah, something you can't get a doctorate in. I'm trying to remember what the bloody hell it is now. Oh, God. What was
I think it was spectroscopy.
A doctorate in spectroscopy.
Yeah, it was something like that. It's when he said what it was, and you're looking at it and you go, well, you don't get a doctorate in that.
Yet you have at least 2 people with doctorates on this panel.
It's oh God, it was something that's like you looked at it and thought, what?
Spectrophotometry.
That was it.
That's a process, though. That's not an area of study.
Yeah, well,
no, it is.
Yeah.
It's a measurement tool. And yet you have 2 people with actual doctorates on this panel, at least.
Yeah, they've looked up a university college course, and I've seen that that's a part of a course, and they've thought you can get a degree in it. And it's
Yeah, got the sneaking suspicion he's not a doctor at all.
I was lending my neighbor a level. How about that? A little level, a bubble level. Isn't that funny? He said, "The level." All I heard was, "No, that's just a level." I said, "Is that babe?" Wait. Oh no, that's the neighbor asking me for a level. All right, where we at here? Anything else to share?
We didn't talk about Flatzoid's latest video.
Oh God.
Hell yeah,
Please
man!
don't.
Give me a link.
What has he done now?
I still can't get over the one where he runs a ruler, where he slides a ruler across that thing to prove that it's flat.
Yeah, and
That
I don't know. Like, was he trying to say that specific thing was level, like the same thing as his previous video, because it wasn't the same surface?
I don't know what he was trying to prove, unless he's just trying to demonstrate yet again that he's an idiot.
The video before that, he was trying to say that the surface was perfectly flat, and then we were in the comments saying, "Well, how did you measure it?"
Yeah, yeah, sliding the ruler along as if that's supposed to prove it's flat. Cross knows how.
Whenever I see the link, I'll put it up.
Let me see. Someone will grab it. I'm kind of driving right now.
So yeah, don't mess with that. Shout out to everybody on YouTube land. Thank you for watching. 50 people here. Please hit the like button, share the show, and support via PayPal or Super Chat. And important, join the Discord server, the Daily Boom. Be a part of the discussion.
I commented on his last video and I said, rather than I said something like rather than just lowering your camera down to get the desired effect. Why not just take that flight from Johannesburg to Sydney?
Oh, we're talking about sinking caps. Hang on, I've got the link.
Yeah.
Let me bung the link in the Daily Boom. There you go, Jose. That's the one.
Boom.
That's the one he's on about.
Farmer's boy say boom.
Boom.
There you go. Okay. What do we have?
Russ.
That's what I didn't want.
Yeah, muted.
Fuck's sake. What's after? Yeah. What's?
I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
We're still at the level of lowering cameras below surfaces.
Oh, you're joking.
Oh my God! Really?
People are still doing this. People are still doing this. As some sort of proof.
Is that like a blackboard or something like that? A whiteboard or something? He's putting his camera behind
I
to
don't
look
know
at
what it
something
is.
around. Yeah.
Whatever the fuck he's doing, he's
Oh,
just
no,
bringing
is he
the
doing
camera down. Yeah.
And he's doing
Something
the
in
focus thing
the
too.
foreground. Yeah, yeah.
What the hell?
Sure,
Whatever's in the foreground is out
to
of
use
focus.
as reference.
Why the fuck disorientation? Disorientation like this.
Because it's probably on the wall or something. I don't know.
It's on the wall. It's a board bolted to the wall. It's a whiteboard or something. He's got a bolt here, and he's trying to show the bolt as a reference point to show you the other side, and you know, yeah.
Flatzoid, if you're listening, we don't make observations with our heads in the ground.
Yeah, we're our half of
We
our
are
eyes popping
always-
up and half of our eyes blocked.
Yeah. We are always above the surface. Always.
Yeah, what the fuck is doing this? Man, poor Flasso. Yeah, Gary, way venga. Where's Gary? Gary.
He's lurking. He's around here somewhere. Lurking.
It's the same thing he did. Yeah, the same thing he did. The video that we never got completely through it. Let me mute it. Let me pause it. Yeah, look what he's doing here, Gary. Same thing. Just bring the camera way half down
just
below
have
that
no place for
the edge of the
information.
table.
Yeah.
So the Flatsoys and the Garys and the Dirts and all them people just bringing the camera way below. I mean, am I walking around with a wall in front of my face blocking the bottom half of my eye? Just right in my eye. It'd be so fucking annoying because I couldn't see anything below my eye all the time.
Oh, quite. Exactly. Why can't I see anything? Because you got a wall in front of you.
What the fuck, man?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh God, isn't there a picture of this picnic table that he's using, and it is all sorts of wonky?
Yeah, we're gonna see it in a minute. He's gonna zoom out. He's gonna show the whole thing. Yeah, watch it. It's all fucked up. I don't even know this slab of wood is straight or not. It's all fucked up, man.
So which do we think Flatzoid did? Did he do the focus trick, where he just left the objects in the foreground blurry so that it looked like it was obstructing, or did he actually put the camera below the level of the table? Which one of the two dishonest tricks did he do?
He definitely put below the table the camera, and maybe he might have also played with the focus thing, but definitely the camera was under the table.
One of their big
Maybe
tricks, they like to use a zoom lens. And what happens with a zoom lens is you start off on low zoom and the lens face is close to the camera. And then as you zoom in, the lens face gets further away from the camera and they poke that end up over the table. It starts off under the table, but as they extend the lens, it goes over the table, and that's something that they love doing.
Forgot about that one as well.
Yeah, I want Gary to come and tell me at which timestamp exactly the wheels of the black car are below, not the wheels, the tires.
Right here.
Of the,
Right here, probably.
the tires of the black car below the tires of the white car. I don't see the tires. If I don't see the tires, they are not below anything.
Yeah.
He said it gets below the white car, and I want to know at which point. The roof, yes. I want to see the wheels below.
Gary Wavenga, try not to do what you used to do 1 year ago every day, coming in and just scattergun different topics in the chat box. Please don't do that. If you want to talk about this observation, feel free to type everything you want about this. But you came in hot talking about bubble sextant proves the flat earth. And I hope it doesn't be, you don't come in now with another different point, because that will give me, that's copy paste. And let's not do that. Let's talk about what's going on today, man. Now, you know what's interesting? The Gary Wavenga, he followed up with a video because as soon as he uploaded this, Beeble and I, we criticized him, right, Beeble? Because of what he did.
Yeah. What you're
And what
talking
did he
about? The
do?
one with the You're talking
With the
about the
two
one with the
trucks.
table?
Yeah,
Oh, the two trucks. Yeah.
truck. So he uploaded a video after that, the day after we criticized him, called Earth is Life and Jose JG Boom. This is for you. Well, I'm glad you asked, because we're gonna take a little look over here. I'm gonna play with. There you go, Brian. That's your table right there.
Okay, now.
Oh yeah, perfectly flat.
Perfectly flat. I love it, man. Well, I'm gonna play this with audio. It's 1 minute 55 seconds, so be patient and click on my screen share if you want to see it in real time.
Okay. Here is the edge of the table. It's going to be very easy to see where the edge is in the picture. So my model's at the far end. I'm going to drop it. Now you know my lens, because you can see the light on the far end. A good chunk of the table is lit. There's a little bit of a shadow here on my end. So as long as I can see the light on the table down there, which is quite a bit different color than the edge of my table, you know that I'm above the surface.
How about that?
You still see the light?
See, he hit it, and then he just continued to go lower.
Still see a little.
So he's
Yeah.
he's a little bit below the edge of the table, and you can clearly see that.
Slightly
try
though,
to
yeah.
get the light just to get eliminated, because that will be right at the surface.
Yeah, and he cannot get effect if he see a little bit of the surface of the table. And still, I mean, it's
Right about there.
See, he went
so
below,
uneven.
lower again.
He went lower, and it's so uneven with a little bump
I just
because of
barely
these
move
objects
that.
are so small.
There's light.
Any little bump can create that effect, but still, he's still going lower. Now it's not, but now it is. I mean, he is playing in that line. He's playing in the line right there.
How does he know the table's level? It's got wooden legs on a grass. I mean,
Look how wonky
what
that
has he
table
done to level that table? I don't think he's done anything to level it, you know?
Well, I mean, the honest to God truth is, if you look at the planks that are on a picnic table, those are absolutely precision milled pieces of wood.
Okay.
I mean, they put a bowling alley to
Here.
shame. They are so
The edge
evenly
of the
milled
table. It's going to be very easy to see where the edge is in the
because
That was
because it's essential.
My models
It's
at the far
essential
end.
that thing just be
I'm gonna drop
perfectly
it.
level.
Now you know my
Just
Just
like
like
that,
what? It
it's
doesn't matter
light
about
on
the
far
legs. The table will always
Good
find
chunk
its
of
own
the table's
level.
lit. There's a little bit of a shadow here on my end.
The problem you're running into, obviously, is the
So as
planks
long as
on
I
the
can-
table are slightly bowed. And, I mean, if you did it on each of those different planks, you'd get different results.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
they're
that's
just so
what this
long.
whole thing is. You've got He's got a plank for round Earth. He's got a plank for flat Earth, and a plank for concave Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
If he wants to, Gary, if you're out there listening, let me tell you how to do this correctly so that you get the true answer. All right. Go to a bowling alley. Put your camera right on the floor of the bowling alley, right on the same level as the lanes. And then all you have to do is just roll a bowling ball down to the other end of the alley and see whether or not that little junction where the bowling ball meets its reflection, see if that goes away. That's all you have to do.
Or just see if the
I would recommend going to.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd recommend going to a house with synthetic lanes because if you're on 20-year-old wood lanes, they will have a little bit of dip to them.
Yeah. And then just see if the pins on the other side are obstructed by the floor.
We're looking good today in the stream, man. We got these 60 people like constant. 59, 6 to 60, 61. We fluctuate in there. That's great, man. I appreciate everybody's support, everybody for being here. Small channel, and I appreciate all the the dedication of you guys being here and hanging out with us. It's always good to have a few hours of, entertaining, good fun, talking among each other. It's so good. Big shout out to Tommy Grumble. Tommy, I received your $10 on PayPal, man. Thank you very much, man. Wait, what? Gary line on the interwebs again? Oh no! Please say it is. Please say it isn't so. Shout out to Tommy Grumble. Gary line on the interwebs? Never, Tommy, never.
I would have had a pretty good treat for you guys this morning, but unfortunately, my normal location you can't see the buildings because the sun is like washing everything out. So it's like you can't see anything.
Oh, by the way, have you gone back to that location to do the nighttime shot to prove that Brian Leakey's absolutely ridiculous to say you'll see the whole thing at night?
So that's what I wanted to do this morning because he also said he wanted me to try it in the morning, but I think I have to go a little bit early so that the I can see the buildings. Like I can't see anything right now. So
that's the direction the sun's coming up, so it's washed out.
Yeah. So
strange enough, if you have a good pair of polarized sunglasses, you actually can put that over the lens, and it should give you enough to be able to see.
Oh, okay. I'll think about that. I think I'm gonna try tomorrow and just come a little bit early before the sun peaks up over the mountain. I thought I was gonna get here early enough, but I guess not. But going at night, I would have to go. I mean, I'm actually in the middle of making a video, and what I'm saying is, I mean, on that day, the sun would have set like 30 minutes after those pictures were taken, and there wouldn't have been much temperature difference between 620 and 650 to make any kind of difference in where the crosshairs were. Now, if he thinks there's going to be, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jose.
Just give a quick shout out to my mom bakes cakes. She gave me five Australians. Thank you, my mom bakes cakes. Gary and the Knights of the Flat Table. Let's go to lie a lot. Thank you very much, my mom bakes cakes. Great comment. Chris Berry, shout out to Chris Berry. He's talking all kinds of topics, random topics about space, about governments, because he wants to avoid to talk about the dishonesty of flat earthers that we have presented today. Shout out to Chris Berry. Always avoiding to talk about what was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I guess
and the lies. Chris Berry, you want to talk about NASA and the lies? Come up. Why didn't you show up yesterday? We were talking about the space, but today we're talking about the dishonesty of the flat earthers and lying for flat Earth. talk about that, and we will get there, man. Go ahead, Eric's live. Sorry, stop interrupting.
No, I was just saying, there wouldn't have been any difference, and I could put money on that if I went after sunset, I would see the same thing.
You already
I
did.
just can't. Yeah, I just can't get out. I'm so busy. Once I get home, I'm not gonna tell my wife, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna go back out and make another observation," and she's gonna tell me, why? It's gonna be this. She's gonna literally say, "It's gonna be the same. You take the same things all the time. Why are you gonna go again? It's gonna be the same exact thing."
It's $100.
Oh, because some idiot on the internet wants me to show him something where he even claimed he's gonna move the goalpost once again if I showed him that. He even said that. I said so if I go out here and I show you that it hasn't changed, you're gonna just move the goalpost again. He says, yeah, maybe. But if I get a chance,
Say that?
I'm gonna. I'm sorry.
Did he actually say that?
Yes,
He was
he
going to the goalpost.
actually said that. He actually said that. Look, like almost word for word. Like I said something like, so if I go out here and I do it at nighttime, like, and I show you that it hasn't changed, what are you gonna do then? And I said, are you gonna give me another hoop to jump through? He said, yeah, maybe.
It's not just always the observations you're making. It's often that you're not using the correct calculations to calculate exactly what you're seeing. You know?
I mean, at this point, I really don't even have to use calculations. I could just see that the crosshairs are hitting well above where they should be all the time, any time of day.
No, it's not exactly scientific, just working itself
I
and
know.
saying, this is what I think I see, I believe it. And you're not making any
Yeah.
calculations to prove or verify anything you're observing. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, if I see someone is 3 feet taller than someone else, do I have to calculate that? Should I have to measure that?
Well, you might have to check if he's actually 3 foot taller than the other guy. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and get there after sunset, but I mean it's gonna be the same thing.
And just the only thing he's gonna ask you, if you don't do it, he's gonna deny the whole thing. Some website that is gonna tell you the tides and the height of the waves.
No, if I go after sunset, then he's gonna say I want you to go in the morning.
Yeah.
If then when I go in the morning, he's gonna say, well, you only did it once.
Yeah.
I think he's trolling respectably, you know.
Yeah.
Flat earthers, they actually talk more about NASA than the globe earthers. Now, there are some specific channels that they talk a lot about space agencies and NASA, but flat earthers just eat the cake, like the whole shenanigans. They are like obsessed with NASA and the space agency more than
I mean,
regular people.
they can deny that. Well, they can assert that what they're doing here in Discord and other channels, that they're defeating the globe. But no matter what they do, if NASA and all the other space agencies are going to continue doing what they're doing, and continue showing us that things like the James Webb Space Telescope and everything else they put out in space is just going to continue. So there's nothing. They're not doing anything. They're not progressing.
No, they spent $2 billion in 10 years of people's lives to put that telescope up there. Do you think they just did that to fake that the Earth is round?
Yeah.
Because it's not pointed at the Earth.
No, it's a very good reason for that.
100%.
And it's not the Earth. It's that bloody great big hot bright thing that's beyond it.
There's a lot of things. I got a lot of beef with the space agencies and NASA and all of that. That will not change the shape of the Earth. I mean, that will not change reality.
No,
My
no.
disbelief in them, my not trusting in them, my opinion will not change the reality. They don't agree with that. They think they're just correct. They are right, and everybody must think like them. No, not me. Be humble and accept that it's your opinion, your bias, and you just want something to be real.
I was watching a video about the what is it, Galileo project. All the problems that plagued the Galileo.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty good video because it showed that that probe that they put out. I guess there was a time when they were trying to get a part of it to open and it wouldn't open, so be they had to use other means to get the data from that probe.
Mm. Okay.
And I don't know. I just thought it was a pretty good story.
Big shout out to everybody in YouTube. If you guys are watching, hit that like now, share the show, support, and join Discord. In Discord, we have Bogov, Brian Mabbit, Shaik, Discord user, Dr. Bro, Earth is Life, Farmer's Boy, Left Lane, Fred, Mr. 42, Snesley Wipes, and Turs in the house.
Jose,
Sorry, I'm just driving.
all the flat earth has, Jose, is just, they find something weird. They claim that something weird somehow raises doubt in the globe model and then make it true. So
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's not even worth looking at.
I got something. Somebody pull over, so you guys have the floor. I leave the image of this astronaut looking through the window of the ISS.
Is that a fisheye lens?
Looks curved to me.
It's the window.
What, you can see her hair's all distorted and curved.
Look at the solar panel. It's straight as an arrow.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be bent, straightened up by the curve of the lens.
What we've actually got to realise is not what's out the window, but who's taking the photo.
Behind the
Sorry
camera.
if I have a lot of background noise. I'll try and mute.
Hey, I got a quick question. Does anybody know whether Rumpus is ever going to do his test, or did he do his test yet?
No, he hasn't.
He's running out of summer.
Wasn't he? Yeah. What happened? Weren't you guys supposed to do it this summer?
No, well, nothing's happened. I've not heard anything from him, so I don't know what's going on. I kind of figured that when he was ready, he'd let people know, and I hadn't spoken to him in weeks, so couldn't tell you.
Yeah, maybe he's got something else he's got to do in real life, you know what I mean?
If he's got a life, he better get on this project.
Yeah.
No,
He has been on, hasn't he?
In reality, I'd say we've got until September, because I think we was getting towards the end of September, start of October last year, when the conditions were starting to change for the worse. So he's got a while yet. I mean, we're only the tail end of July. We've got August and September yet. But if he wants to be doing it, he wants to be getting hold of people and sort of arranging dates and all the rest of it. And I've not heard of Dickie Bird, so who knows?
All right.
Who the hell wants to be doing anything in this heat anyway?
Well, yeah, this week would not have been the right week to do it.
No, Farmer's Boy, you should be carrying poles in the seat.
Should do what? Sorry?
Oh yeah.
You should be carrying poles in this heat.
Oh yeah. The Globe Live tour is going on right now.
Yeah, Gem Panda was there yesterday.
Yeah. Good old Gem.
Yep.
That's my first time seeing Gem. Not how I pictured him.
Yeah. If you're just used to hearing him, yeah, it can be a bit of a surprise when you see him in action.
Yeah. and Chemo was there too.
Yeah, Chemo was there.
But I mean, if you got some guy, some shirtless guy with no shoes shouting at you, he's about flat Earth. That's definitely compelling, isn't it?
Oh yes, definitely.
Changed my mind right away.
Yeah, I'd like to ask for financial advice from him too, because I mean, he seems like he's a man about the world.
I would love to have something like see something like that, and then set up another presentation like right next to theirs, showing how their shit is all their presentation is all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, just go out there with a megaphone, answer all their questions.
You're mean.
Yeah, but they're quite impervious to that because they're not actually they're not there to learn anything. You know, they've got their delusion to stick to, and they're completely impervious to reason and logic and evidence and explanations and all that sort of thing. No, they've really made their mind up. There's no changing it.
It's the memes though. All it is like repeating the memes.
It's funny. Democ, who we all know is a real serious flat earther.
Oh yeah.
He was over at Gems today, and he asked for something. I was like, you know what? I wonder if that really exists. He's like, I want to see a balloon at 130,000 feet taking pictures of stars. I'm like, damn it, somebody's got to have launched a balloon at night once. And you know what? I found several videos of stratospheric balloon launches that show stars.
There you go.
Dwayne
look
Kellum.
at it.
You've just got to make sure that whatever patch of sky you're trying to take photos of hasn't got the moon in it.
Oh, this one had the moon in it, but the moon was way overexposed.
Yeah, you either overexpose it or you pick a patch of sky that hasn't got, hasn't got the moon in it. That's just going to, flood your image with light.
But it just goes to show, like, the moon looked like shit, and the stars were there. Oh wow.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Your
you do.
exposure all fucked up. Something's going to be bad.
Well, that's as we all know when they're taking photos, and they've got the exposure right for the moon. That's why you can't see the stars. Pretty basic stuff, but they don't seem to get it or don't want to.
Flat Earthers don't understand exposure.
No.
Wait, Demox said, show me, and you went to look something for him?
Well, I was also interested because I've never seen it also, and I've heard a lot of flat earthers, complaining that there's no stars up there when you go up on a balloon. And I was like, you know what? I've never looked for it this way. Let me do a search this way. I was like, it's there.
Yeah. Well, it's there, but you show it to Democ, he doesn't see it.
Oh, he wouldn't look. Absolutely not.
It doesn't cost much to buy a pair of binoculars and then you can look at the stars on a clear night. You know what I mean? You can look at the moon, you can look away from the moon and look at stars, you know what I mean? You can see satellites, the ISS. I mean, you just need a reasonably good pair of binoculars, you know what I mean? And you can deal with that, you know what I mean? And you can even connect a camera to them and photograph them, you know?
I don't know what you mean. There's a big issue over here going on that when they say, show me this, show me that, we really have to clarify what do they mean? What will they accept when they ask for showing? They ask me to show something. They have to clarify that. Do you want to see a photograph? Do you want to see a video? Do you want to see something live in real time? Is it fair to show it via a computer in the camera? Like, what do we need to show you? Do you need to visit you? Do you need to pay me the plane ticket? I can go to you and can show it to you in front of you. Do you need to touch it, smell it, and taste it? I mean, we need to clarify what do they mean when they ask for us to show something. What do you guys think?
Well, most of the time when they ask for some sort of evidence of anything, and then most of the time it's pretty easy to get that evidence, and then we all know what happens when we show them, right?
Exactly. That's why I asked. What will they accept when they say show me? Because when we show them, but via links and videos and pictures and papers and documents, they don't accept it. So what will they accept when they say show me it?
And that's why I always say, like, why are you asking for the evidence if you're not going to accept it? Like,
Yeah,
just
Well,
say,
you
as
made
you,
up your mind.
show me the measurements. Show me the measurements. And you bring in the
Left lane,
measurements.
yeah, left lane.
Right,
You have
go
been
ahead, Leslie.
you've been in a bunch of
yeah,
like flat service and stuff, and they ask you to show them a lot of things. Tell me about it, man.
Oh, it's just, I mean, while you're showing them actual images from the space shuttle, from from the ISS, thousands of images from space that they outright deny. And in the same breath, they're asking for, why is there not a 24-hour blah, blah, blah? Why not this angle, that angle? They're asking for more images while denying all the images you're giving them. And they'll just deny the ones you give them.
Yep.
Huh.
It's a fruitless exercise.
yeah, there's hundreds of amateur astronomers like taking photographs of the moon, the planets, through very, very good, 12-inch, telescopes in their own backyard. You can find them on YouTube. Watch their videos. But these guys won't even go there. They're not looking for evidence. They don't want to find out. And they'll say that they're all NASA shells and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, man.
Hmm. Earth is live. You're clicking over there, man.
Sorry, I'm driving. Like I was saying earlier about Galileo, that was I think Galileo was like the first satellite that actually showed the Earth rotating about its axis as it was going away from it.
Let's ask. We got Lemon Bird in here. He might be able to clarify. When you ask us a lot of things, show me this, present me this, let me see it. Why? What do you expect? What is the accepted demonstration and show you what?
Mostly as show me how you view things. Since I come from a flat Earth perspective now, I just ask people to see how they think about something and see if the flat Earth can account for it just as easily from another flatter perspective. Like these things that are floating over and around the flat, motionless Earth would just be floating up there while the Earth doesn't move. And I feel quite comfortable saying that the Earth doesn't move based off of the evidence of my senses. So I just see how I can account for what they say just from a flat Earth perspective, really.
If somebody
Yeah, but
say, show me,
just
if somebody say, show me a picture of what I don't know, the gas pressure without a container or some bullshit like that, like a weird phrase picture, and you show them, I don't know, a picture of the Earth, from space, from a satellite, the Himawari or the ISS, and you show them a picture showing a little bit of the Earth, and you can see the thin layer of the atmosphere and all the stuff against the space. What is that valid, invalid, and why? For example, it's just one example.
Well, it would be deemed invalid because it's kind of begging the question that you're not showing a small scale example that would automatically translate to a large scale example. You're saying here's this globe that you can't even test, except that this is gas pressure next to a container, when you can't show me that in the lab. Normally, when you open up a vacuum next to a pressurized system, the pressurized system goes whoosh and floods into the pressurized vacuum, if you will. And so since there's no small scale to large scale demonstration, it just smacks of begging the question at that point.
Now, come
Yeah,
on,
but
we've
because
shown
that's
that to you, and we have
Another
shown you
time.
gas next to a vacuum.
So
and
I
that's
need a
because
small
that
scale
pressurized
demonstration of
that
a
pressure.
vacuum next to a pressurized system before I can even go with this begging the question. Look at this ball here. Look at this blue globe graphic thing here. And that's supposed to be sufficient. No, that's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, and also it's because that pressure that you're looking for is above atmospheric pressure. So obviously it's gonna go whoosh and go out of the container.
Have you ever seen the strength of just the weight of the atmosphere on a large, like a tanker, when
No.
evacuated? Well, you should look that up on the internet, mate.
I have heard of
a big tanker. Let me finish, mate. If you're drain stuff out a tanker, like a pressurized tanker, you've got oil or water or whatever in it, gas. You pump all that out until you get a vacuum in there. The weight of the air outside of it crushes it.
Lemon, go ahead. Yeah.
Like Tercy said, there is atmospheric pressure in these tankers, and scuba divers are a thing. They surface up from the water, and it's like their insides, go inside out. If they surface too quickly, so it does look like pressure is a thing. But does that answer, a pressurized system next to a vacuum? Not really. When we go in the lab, open up a vacuum next to a pressurized system, the pressurized system floods in, and because of the lack of a small scale to large scale demonstration with the Earth, I'm going to have to believe that the Earth does this based off of faith. And that's not going to be sufficient. If I have to go to faith, I'm just going to go to religion at that point and go with the biblical cosmology.
Well, one thing you said, Lemon, was that you can't feel the motion. You know that you have limitations on your senses and what they can feel. And if you were to actually go stand on a glacier, you would be quite confident that that glacier was not moving. Yet when you take time-lapse video of it, you can see that it's moving at a very not substantial rate, but it's moving at an appreciable rate, and it can be filmed. So how do you square that? You know that you can feel some things, you can't feel others.
Well, that glacier is moving very slowly.
Yeah.
Whereas we're moving 66,000 miles per hour through space, so your analogy breaks
We're not
down
moving
because
60.
we're moving much more faster than the glacier. What was that?
If we were to set you on a roundabout and put a wee engine with a rubber wheel turning that roundabout at one revolution every 24 hours, and you sat on it and shut your eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell you're moving.
So now you're shifting the goalpost to the number of
It's the same as being on the Earth. You're revolving once every 24 hours.
In terms of absolute movement, Tercy, that analogy is just weak. So if you want to shift the goalpost to say number of revolutions per unit time, whether those revolutions are 66,000 miles per hour or 1 mile per hour, I'm going to have to call bullshit. I'm sorry.
Well, what if I was to take
Hold on, Boyak. Let me say this before we go too far, because we need to stop the interruption. When one person is beginning to answer a question or address a point, I know that we will disagree with the opposite view, but that is not an excuse for interruption. Just you have to bite your tongue and wait for your time. Given 30 seconds at least before you interrupt. Don't interrupt within the first 5 words or 5 seconds. Please be patient, everybody, to one side and another. Go ahead, Moyak.
This is a hypothetical. I'm sure you haven't been. If you were on the Concorde and it was doing Mach 1 and it made a circle, just a full circle over 24 hours, or a rate of one circle every 24 hours. Do you think that you would feel lateral forces?
I probably wouldn't feel it, no. But
So
now you're trying to make excuses for why I don't feel movement. You were saying?
So even moving 1,000 miles an hour, you don't feel it? Huh.
That's what I would assume. I mean, it just seems like you're saying that, I'm not going to feel it because of these reasons, which is kind of weaker than saying this is what I should feel. It's kind of making excuses for this lack of evidence, which is going to require me to have faith to believe it. And so at that point, I'm just going to be like, no, sorry.
Oh, no, I mean, I would agree with you that I should be able to come up with a number, but for the 66,000 miles an hour, 1 degree every day around the sun is applying the same thing we see on the jet. The jet would be a much greater force than 1 degree per day, even though it's 66,000 miles per hour. It all has to do with your angular change.
But did you notice the subtle way that you move the goalpost as opposed to absolute terms of 66,000 miles per hour versus, say, 1 mile per hour? You're now going in relative terms of number of revolutions, be those revolutions 66,000 miles per hour revolutions or 1 mile per hour revolutions or this many revolutions per unit time. It's a subtle way to change, to move the goalpost that is very suspicious and very, very sneaky for a conspirator flat earther such as myself. So I'm going to have to call, bullshit.
You know that speed can't be. There's nothing, not one thing that you can feel speed with unless you count the air blowing across your face and vibrations. If you don't have vibrations and you don't have
wind blowing in your face, what would you feel?
I've got two questions for Lemon on this subject, if I may. So, Lemon, first of all, you said we should, pressure next to a vacuum, all that kind of stuff. But it's actually pressure in a graduated sense. You know, a mobile phone has a barometer in it, and it's used with it's used with what you call fused activity services to detect when, if you've gone upstairs. It's accurate to, most of them are accurate to around, some of them 0.5 meter, some of them about 2 meters, but it can certainly detect whether you've gone upstairs. It detects the pressure difference, because the higher you go, the less pressure there is, correct? Do you agree with that statement, Lemon?
Yeah.
Okay, so at what point do you think that graduation will suddenly become a boundary and not just gradually get to very incredibly low pressure? Not a vacuum, not negative pressure, not zero pressure, but it just goes from 14 to 13 to 12 to 10, and then gradually all the way get to 0.0001. Is there anything that you can tell me that makes that not true?
No, the only thing is the way that you're conceptualizing it is you're conceptualizing it as a continuum, not as two separate systems. So if it is a continuum that goes from 14 to 0.01 to 0.001 or whatever, does that mean that there's really no qualitative difference between Earth and space? Are they really all one system that is all together under a dome over a flat plane? Or are they qualitatively different enough to where you can invoke a ball separate as a system from the vacuum? Because it seems like you're treating it as if it is a continuum, as if there is no real separation at all, which I think would tend to go with a flatty conception, with space continuing all the way up to this dome boundary, as opposed to the heliocentric conception, where you have a separate globe system separate from surrounding vacuum space.
No,
Just give me a few seconds, Stingray. Stingray, sorry, man, few seconds. It's a super chat and it's right in the topic, so we're not taking it away. Stefan Mudd for 50 Nokias. Thank you, Stefan Mudd. It's a question for Lemon, like clarification. Lemon, what is the pressure difference between the outermost part of the atmosphere and space?
It's an arbitrary dividing line called the Kármán line. And so, as far as I can tell, Jose, they're treating it not like two separate systems, pressurized versus unpressurized. They're treating them like a continuum, as if there's no real separation between them. And at that point, Jose, I would go with the flat Earth with a continuum of atmosphere all the way up to the dome, as opposed to the globe conception of a pressurized Earth ball somehow separated from the vacuum of space.
So do you agree that if we are in a flat Earth with a dome over it, the pressure inside that dome is the same all over?
That is where I would disagree, Mr. Tercy.
Well, how do you get a pressurized vessel that's different in different places?
I would invoke the dome, Mr. Tercy, for initially keeping the gas from going anywhere. And then, Mr. Tercy, after everything goes to homeostatic equilibrium, then you can have everything layering like a density tower, with the density tower, in this case, of the atmosphere with its layers of pressure, Mr. Tercy, being gradations of pressure within the ether.
What's causing that gradation?
What was that?
Would you say that picture looks like a dome? This one right here, the picture that I posted in the.
It does look somewhat dome-like, but it could just be a layer of atmosphere. Who knows?
That's what it is. Layer the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Mr. Tercy, you need a dome initially to keep the gases from going everywhere initially, and then once the gases settle, they're going to settle into homeostatic layers.
What causes them to settle?
The density tower of the electromagnetic ether that everything mixes into. The ether is electromagnetic, and it sorts things up, down, makes it float, makes it rise, makes it sink. I'd say the electromagnetic ether of this density tower.
You have evidence for this?
For the ether, just things that make people like me infer it quite easily. I would infer the ether based off of logic, Mr. Tercy.
So, well, it's not logic. You just made it up, basically. Pulled it out your behind, yeah?
The logic, Mr. Tercy, is that space between objects like you and me would have to be something substantial to exist. And the frameworks that accept that space is something substantial that exists, that flows, that can concentrate, that can dissipate, appears to be ether related or space time related or
Or
something like
gravity related?
gravity is poorly defined. I would absorb gravity under electromagnetism and under another paradigm that offers more consistent explanation.
Or you would be one of the very few people that think that.
Well, there are people that have tried to absorb gravity under electromagnetism. I would absorb it further under the electromagnetic ether, the substance that you and I swim in as fishies.
Another amazing technology we have, besides that barometer that shows us that the pressure gradually decreases and would decrease in a nice graduated fashion to nothing, we also have in most phones, I'd hazard a guess 80% or above, a magnetometer able to detect EM electromagnetic fields. Now that's not just the Earth's or the ground's electromagnetic field to find, magnetic north or anything. I could use it to read and get the location of stud walls in my house. It's any field that it comes in contact with. So the weird thing is every single person on the planet has the ability to detect these really strong fields which apply force, Lemon, but yet none of them have. It's weird that, right?
Well, it is weird, I guess, that we're not detecting this force, but I think with things like you and me having a limit of sensation, even these instruments have a threshold as to what they can, quote unquote, detect. And so you do talk about, what was that?
So just on that point, when you say threshold, if I can detect an incredibly small field strength from a nail in a stud wall, along with the direction of north, those two things having no effect to my physical reality by applying forces to them, they're just incredibly weak fields. And then you're saying that there's this electromagnetic field that exists that can apply an accelerating force to everything, and it's really strong because it holds everything down and layers things in density. I find that a little bit dubious to believe.
Well, I find you may find that dubious, and as a humble conspiratorial legitard flatty, I'm still trying to figure this stuff out myself. But I find it dubious that on one side of your mouth you invoke a continuum that goes from 14 to 0.01 to 0.001, but never quite nothing, and then at the other side of your mouth appear to try to re-invoke the vacuum of space as if it is nothing. If it is a continuum, the way that you appear to be saying out the other side of your mouth, there would always be something there. Just very little there, but always something there, as far as I can tell from my perspective, sir. An ether that is ephemeral and tenuous, sure, but always present at 0.001 or 0.000001 and beyond.
Yeah, you can see this with weather balloons, Lemon. There's an abundance of evidence that shows you that all you have to do is extrapolate a tiny little bit because it got to such low pressure. All you'd need is another 5% of what it was doing, and you'd get to that 0.001. But that's not even the thing. I mean, that's just, the evidence is overwhelming. The other thing he said is about motion. 65,000 miles per hour. Could we both agree that if I'm on a train going 10 miles an hour, I won't feel the motion? Can we just both agree on that for 1 second?
Sure.
Okay, now if that train takes a bend whereby it goes round at 10 miles an hour, it goes 1 degree per second, there's a chance that I could feel it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm feeling is that tangential velocity. It's the change in direction, but there's an acceleration there that we can calculate, and it's really easy to calculate. And we can compare that against the sensory ability of the average human, because this has all been studied and tested. Now, if you study our model that's going 65,000 miles an hour and then 10,000 miles an hour and then 1,000 miles an hour, and you add all those vectors up, can you tell me the tangential acceleration that we should feel?
No.
Right, because when you work it out and you look up studies of human perception, you realize that a human being cannot.
What's the threshold?
The threshold in the study, I forget now, I looked it up about 2 years ago. I will find you the study though, and it was performed on 100 people, and a portion of them sick as well with colds, and a portion of them like athletes. And it was some perturbation, human sensory perception, blah, blah, blah. Something. But the study's in there and it gives you the acceleration, the minimum thresholds for acceleration that people can feel given all of those states. And none of it came anywhere close to the ability to detect the acceleration that we should feel with the accumulation of vectors in our solar system and in our universe.
A circular motion, like our motion around the sun, constantly changes. So by that definition, as it is, we would constantly feel the rotation of the Earth, one would assume, at these great, speeds with the weight of the Earth, being lugged around or whatever. You're talking about linear velocity in a straight line. That is a vector that is relatively unchanging relative to, say, a rotation or a circular motion. So there's something problematic with that. But I guess we need to look into this hackneyed heliocentric theory further to see what, if any, consistency is within its premises, if any.
So on that though, the acceleration, or the fastest acceleration that we would feel given the Earth's rotation, reduces my physical weight by less than 0.5%. I would not feel that at all. And that's the Earth rotation. Now, going around our solar system, around the sun in the supposed heliocentric model, that adds even less. And then going around the spiral arm, the Sagittarian spiral arm in our galaxy, adds even less. Now, when you add all of those together, you look at what humans can perceive, and we cannot tell. It is that simple.
Yeah. So, I mean, these math tricks are nice. And these logical knots and loops that we're throwing ourselves into to make this thing work are nice. But at the end of the day, now that I'm a flat earth, I'm going to be like, this just sounds like bullshit. It just feels like I'm not moving. It feels like I'm not moving, and it looks like it's flat.
No,
I don't care about these math tricks, and I don't care about this idealism, this world of mathematical ideas that people put out to try to make something that just doesn't seem to be so. I'm just not going
with it. Lemon, I get it, and I agree with you 100%. It looks flat, and we do not feel motion. And that is what our model says when you're on something as tiny, when you're as tiny on a huge planet, in a huge solar system, in a huge galaxy, we shouldn't feel motion. We don't feel motion. It should look flat if you're on the ground. It does look flat. Absolutely agree with you.
You've been on an airplane, buddy.
There's just one major sticking point.
Ever been in a Turkish prison?
No, have you ever been on an airplane traveling at 200, 250 miles an hour? Close your eyes and go to sleep, and you don't feel yourself flying. You know what
That's
I mean?
the one. Do you like it when Scraps rubs up and down against your leg?
Shout out to me. Having fun. I'm putting just random images in the background for the audience. Yeah, I posted a couple in the Daily Boom, but just random images. I got the Apollo 11 official patch right now.
The eagle has landed.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know it triggered a few people. I think Joe Mama in the YouTube chat. Welcome, Joe Mama, man. You're the new guy today. I think he's not liking the moon propaganda here.
Well, I admit though, I think the Apollo that I like the best is Apollo 13, where they survived disastrous explosion in their oxygen tank. That's probably the best Apollo story I've ever read, you know.
My dogs are barking. I hope you don't hear it.
Well, most of them had problems. I mean, Apollo 12 got hit by lightning on takeoff. That was very nearly an abort and all sorts of things.
Yeah, I think the story of 13, the survival and how they pulled together and solved the problems. It's
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the story of mankind come up against almost unsolvable problems and solving them, you know.
Now, in the same breath, I want to say shout out to Trillian. Trillian is the new guy here today in Discord. Joe Mama in the chat is the new guy. Trillian is the new guy in Discord.
Yeah, welcome to all the new guys.
And if Trillian don't want to say what's up, maybe Mr. 42 want to say what's up. He's over here. He wanted probably to talk to Lemon, but Lemon has left the building. What the hell? Brian Mavitt is here.
Oh, that's a shame.
Maybe Mr. 42 want to talk to Brian Mavitt for a minute or two. I guess not.
No, I don't blame him.
He's not connected. He's just connected, but he doesn't have a microphone. Sorry, go ahead.
So we got that now. So
Brian Mavitt has mic.
I was actually going to tell Lemon Bird that I missed him, but then I heard him speak, and I was like, No,
you didn't. Do you know, I've never felt the occasion arise where I've thought, I wonder what Lemon Bird thinks of all this. That's never happened.
Anybody got a good picture of Uranus?
Well, give me a minute, and I'm sure I can come up with something.
Wait, I got one. You want live?
Found one. I got one. No, don't do it. No, I already got one up. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
That's rather a splendid photo. Yes.
Don't scare me like that.
Here's a photo of Uranus. Oh, really? I've seen it before.
Yeah. You have a photo of Uranus you want to share with me? The hell.
Oh, hang on. That's in that special encrypted file. Yeah.
Shout out to Trillian. He just came into Discord to mute Lemon Bird.
Well,
just in case. He got in the future, he doesn't hear it.
Was it Patrick Moore on? Oh God, I can't remember the program he did there, but did they start to pronounce Uranus as Uranus for the BBC? Was that right?
Yes, I believe so, because I think Spitting Image at the time took the piss out of it a bit, and you know they'd got the famous news road of the time. I can't remember his name now, and he was saying, it's now called Uranus, and he said next up they've discovered this new planet and it's called Bumholly. And of course, up on the screen it just says bumhole.
There you go. There you go, Jose.
oh, gee. Yes, we knew it was your hand, really. Well, we're kind of hoping it was your hand.
There it is.
I found a picture of space. A person from the looking to the outside of the ISS, and I saw a person is looking from the outside to the inside. Want to see it?
Yeah.
So, only for flat earthers. They can make a meme out of it, man.
You know, when they say, oh, they're just in the giant swimming tank and they've just, changed the colour and everything. Well, if you actually look a photo of them training in their neutral buoyancy tank, you can see that they're not in space and you can see they're underwater because the astronaut's head through his visor of his spacesuit is shrunken, and that's an effect of the water. It's just implausible to say the least that they would shoot all this in a tank of water and then try and fiddle with it to make it look like they're in outer space. It's probably easy just to put them in bloody space.
Yeah, but you also see the oxygen bubbles coming up from the safety divers, and knowing NASA, they would forget to take them out of the picture,
Oh, of course.
Of course.
There you go. That's a good example of what an astronaut in the spacesuit looks like when they're actually underwater. And look at all the bubbles are all going in the same direction, up to the surface. And you always get that effect of the water and the glass. It always makes your astronaut head look shrunken.
Which has been squished.
Yeah, and you never see that when they're actually doing a spacewalk.
You ever have itchy, watery eyes?
Yes.
It hurts when I do this.
My question is, then why do they have a flat map in the big screen right here? Oh wait, is there a 3D map that they gotta be a flat map? I mean, it's a flat screen, right?
Exactly.
Why didn't they move the screen over a bit so that all of America and Alaska would be in the one part? They've chopped right through Alaska there. That's terrible, you know what I mean? Why would the
Alaska's all
Americans
there.
chop their own
Alaska's all
country in
there.
half, you know?
How did they do that to Alaska, man?
Alaska's all there. It's just one bit's on one side and the other bit's on the other. It's all there.
He wanted to see Russia with America next to it, holding hands.
The Americans just like to make Russia think they're surrounded.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
Look at how split Australia is, man. That's not flat Earth. Australia should be like twice the size, you know, twice stretched out, twice as long.
Can you see the screen, Jose?
What screen? Your screen? No, I cannot. I can watch it. I'll stop my screenshot and I'll share yours. You want to share for the audience?
Yeah.
It's your time, man. Your time to shine. Go for it.
This is a drone in orbit mode where it can be locked onto a target and orbit that target.
Yeah.
Okay.
And?
Do you all understand?
Is it using
a drone can be locked into a target? Wait. There's easy. A drone can be launched, locked into a target, and go around the target. Yes.
Bottom left-hand corner, you will see feet per second. How it has to speed up and slow down. When it's over his right shoulder, it has to slow down.
No.
And over his left shoulder, it has to
it doesn't.
increase its speed because of his movement.
So let him do his presentation first, and then we can comment.
This is where orbital mechanics falls down. Because
there you go. I knew he was going to say that. Utter bollocks.
Hold on. The object,
this is not orbital mechanics.
The object you are orbiting, if it is moving, you have got to increase and decrease your speed to stay in the same position to that object.
And how do you know that?
If it was much, much fatter, he wouldn't need to.
No, that's true.
Brian,
If it was much fatter.
Brian, relative to what?
Relative to his movement to not moving.
If you remain the same distance
if he
from him,
stands still, the drone would rotate around him at 9 meters per second and not alter its speed, not need to alter its speed.
Let's hear what Shaggy's got asked and see if it makes sense. If you're trying to imagine that.
Relative to what, Brian? Relative to what? If the man is there and
not moving.
Let's start in how many vectors
relative
drone
to
is moving?
not
How
moving.
many vectors is this drone moving?
It's moving in 3 directions.
Moving in 3 directions. So basically, it's very easy. It's very easy
to catch up with his speed, to maintain the difference between it and him, and then on the over his right shoulder, it has to slow down because he's moving.
Yeah, but Brian,
This
there's
is
nothing
why
here.
your orbits cannot work.
There's nothing here that ties.
Our moon,
there's nothing.
Our Earth would all have to speed up and slow down relevantly to the speeds of whatever they're orbiting.
1 second. Nestle Wipes. I want to try to hear what he has to say. Let's try to back and forward a little bit. You got. Go ahead.
There's nothing here that ties the drone to the guy that's walking.
There's nothing here. What?
That ties the drone to the guy that's walking.
That ties the drone to the guy that's
think
walking.
about that. Think about that
Like a
for a second.
rope, a fishing line, a rope.
Not talking about
etc.
how it's orbiting. We're talking about its relevant speed to the guy that's walking.
Yes, but there's nothing
So
that
if
ties
this was
the
our
drone to the
moon,
guy that's walking.
it would have to accelerate up to our speed to go down one side of us. Then it would have to de-accelerate so it doesn't go bollocking past us when it goes on the opposite side of us.
I'd like
Yes,
to.
but there's nothing
This
that
is
ties the
what
drone to the
makes
guy that's.
your ridiculous orbiting planets. It's physically impossible.
I'd like
No,
to
it's physically
try
impossible.
and address something
There's
physical.
nothing to address.
If
This
you
has
were,
to take
well, Brian, I let you talk, and now it's your turn to let somebody else talk. To see how that works? Okay. So, if you were sitting in a truck on a merry-go-round,
Not
spinning
sitting in a
around,
truck on a
I
merry-go-round.
don't know if you can hear
We
me.
are
Brian.
not sitting in a truck on a
Brian,
merry-go-round.
Yeah,
you're
we're
able to
not,
hear me.
Brian. We're not, but let's hear him anyway. And then after, when he's done, then you tell him that we are not all, or we are. Let's hear him.
You see, you be quiet, and other people can talk, and you can have a
Moyo, don't
conversation.
waste your chance. Don't waste your opportunity. Moyo, go ahead.
I'm talking. Now, if you're sitting on a merry-go-round in a car moving in a truck moving 60 miles an hour, do you think that you're going to feel the acceleration, the forward acceleration of that car on that merry-go-round, as you change velocities from going backwards in one direction to forwards in the other direction? I contend you wouldn't feel it.
What the fuck are you going on about?
Well, as the merry-go-round spins,
That
one
is not
direction you'll be moving
orbiting.
towards the back of the car. The other
That is
direction you'll be
not
moving towards the front of the car.
orbiting.
And yet you won't feel that. You won't be like
It is
shuddering back and
not
forth with this acceleration.
orbiting.
Yes, you're orbiting. The center
No,
of
it
the
is not orbiting.
center of the merry-go-round. Brian, what's up with you?
It is not orbiting.
That's right. Your drone's not orbiting.
Neither
Why
is
not?
this.
Do you think this is orbiting, Brian, what you're doing right here?
It's obviously orbiting.
No, it's
No,
not.
If
it's
he
not.
stands still, it
Circling.
just goes right around him at exactly the same speed.
That's called
As soon as
circling.
he puts any acceleration into it, the drone has got to speed up to his speed.
Brian, it's not orbiting.
Now, you must understand this.
It's not.
This
orbiting.
proves
understand
that
it.
we
You
do
don't.
not live in the ridiculous fucking place they've put us.
Okay.
No, I gotta give. Hold on, guys. Hold on, quickly. I know we have spoken and we have done a lot, but as for right now, today, Brian is my the superstar, and you are the MVP of today's show because you are doing a demonstration in real time. Thank you. Whether
Thank
we
you
like
very
it or not, man.
I'm here to help.
I appreciate the demonstration, but can I just express why this isn't orbiting? Because the gravity pull is towards the Earth, not the man. And that's what orbiting is. You're orbiting an object which is gravitationally attracting you.
Right,
and
prove your gravity.
Exactly. Exactly.
Prove your gravity, because no cunt else can do it. Obviously, you are better than everybody else.
I'm going to prove
gravity.
I'm going to prove gravity. You've got satellites orbiting the Earth. That proves gravity.
No, it doesn't. Because fuck all's orbiting the Earth.
And
I can prove gravity. I can prove gravity.
On the moon.
This
When
isn't
I take
orbiting the man either. You know what I mean?
When I
Isn't
take
the
a
moon
piss,
orbiting the Earth? Go ahead, it's Nestle, you first.
And if anything was
Hold on,
orbiting
Brian. Wait. Nestle white first, and then go ahead, Nestle.
Brian, I can prove gravity. When I take a piss, it doesn't splash in my face.
There you go.
Don't know.
Stand
What
on
if
your
it's
head
windy?
and tell me that.
How bizarre.
Do it
Yeah,
standing on your head.
Yeah, that would still prove
And
gravity,
then
though.
tell me that.
That
Have
would
you
still
done
prove
that,
gravity.
Brian? Have you ever done that? Like drinking directly from the source?
Ooh.
The globe model is completely ridiculous. But they've pushed it so far, they cannot go back on it. So they keep inventing more and more absolute nonsense to keep it propped up. And
Funny how
you
it
are
works, though.
sucking it up like mugs.
Yeah, but it's funny how it works, Brian.
It doesn't work.
It
I've
does
just
work.
showed you it cannot work.
Brian, it's funny
The
how
moon would
all
have to
right.
keep accelerating and de-accelerating because what it's orbiting is moving.
All right,
Your
Brian,
drone-
one second.
It's
Bogov, go ahead.
ridiculous.
Hold on,
Brian.
Brian. Bogov, go ahead.
First,
What?
Brian, your drone is not orbiting; it's just flying around him.
And what do you call fucking orbiting then?
Told you.
Brian, it's circling.
You're in a gravitational pull and you just
Hold on,
There
guys.
is no
Hold on,
such
guys.
thing as
Hold on,
gravity.
everybody. Please. Bogov, you asked Bogov a question. 3 people started talking. Bogov, if you want to answer the question, he asked then what is orbiting or something like that. And then you can answer. But Brian, you got to give him an opportunity for him to answer.
Oh, dear.
The fact that you said what is orbiting just says everything.
Brian, when you're going around the roundabout, are you orbiting?
Orbiting what?
The roundabout.
What, when you're on it?
No, when you go around it.
Walking around the roundabout?
No, not walking. In your truck.
In what?
Your truck.
Set the
A
scenario.
vehicle.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Roundabout, you call it in the UK. No, that's how NATO call it.
Right.
When you're circling the roundabout, are you orbiting or are you circling?
Orbiting the roundabout. All right, you can call it an orbit. If you're driving around a roundabout, yes, you could call that an orbit.
No, you're circling it.
Wow.
You can, but only to describe the shape. That's not actually saying that you're doing it. That's the shape you're taking.
But now start your roundabout moving as well, because that's what your moon does. It orbits a moving body. Now, I'll tell you how to test this. Get your wife or your partner to sit in a car or his car and start walking around their car at a steady, say, 3 miles an hour. So you're orbiting their car. Now get them to move off at 5 miles an hour and you try and still walk at your pace around your partner's car.
I got a copy.
Watch out when you go around the front because you might get knocked over.
Brian,
Let's get a super
this
chat
video.
comment over here. A super chat comment first. By Doofus Manfred. Shout out to Doofus. I haven't seen Doofus in a while. $2 super chat. Mallet. He got a definition. Orbit is free fall and no external forces are required. Thank you, Doofus.
Free fall. What, that speeds up and slows down?
No,
You got
so
a free
Brian,
fall that will
Brian.
speed up and slow down. You
Brian.
fucking idiot.
This drone video, the only way this would make sense as an orbit would be if the drone was somehow attached to the guy via a string of some kind. That would be an
Why
orbit.
is the moon attached by a string?
No, it's attached by
There is no
gravitational
such
forces.
thing as gravity. You can't prove
Well-
it, and nor can anybody else. So until it's proved there is a pulling force, we don't even discuss it.
So what do you do where you live? You float about then, or is that?
This model they have sold you is completely ridiculous. And
Yeah,
this
but
is
do
only
you,
one.
do you float about then? Do you
Earth
float
is
about where you-
doing 3 more movements. This is just one movement.
Why is it scary?
And each of those movements is less significant than the last.
Hold on, my phone's ringing.
So the child, when when the kids are playing, when I was a kid, we used to play, like walking around a person, like my sister. All right, you stand there, and I gotta walk around you for whatever your silly games. Was I orbiting my sister? And if I got my dog right there just to freak him out, and I start walking around it, and he doesn't know what to do, I'm just walking around my dog. Am I orbiting my dog? Wow. Thank you, Brian, for the information.
Well, we often have dogs run around us. You get a dog, you go out, and it runs around you in circles, right? It's not
They
orbiting
orbit
you,
us a
it's
lot.
running around you.
Yes,
You
they'll
know
be
what I mean?
orbiting us. Yes.
Well, Brian seems to want to call it orbit, you know. As I say, the
When the
only way
dogs are
this would be
chasing their own
orbited.
tail, when the dogs are
I was just,
chasing their own
I was
tail,
just gonna say that, Jose.
they'll be orbiting around a point right there. They'll be orbiting around a point.
The only way that this flying thing would orbit this man is if he was twice the size of the Earth, and therefore he attracted it towards him more than it was attracted towards the Earth. You know, that's why I said he's not fat enough.
Yeah, but gravity doesn't exist apparently. So I'm here. I am just floating around my house at the minute.
I've got my feet tucked under the legs of my chair. Don't ask me how the chair's staying on the floor.
I went out this morning and did 3 orbits of my house.
Isn't that something? Good times, huh? And then the hamsters will be orbiting their wheels.
No, I mean this is a good video. It shows the level of technology that mankind can get to in just a few short years. I mean, it's not long since we started inventing these little helicopter things, you know, and now you can get them to just on a mobile phone. You can get them to do all this shit with just a small app downloaded for the internet. I mean, mankind solving problems, the technology breakthroughs we've had in just the last sort of 10, 20 years, man, absolutely amazing, you know.
Yeah, I've got a couple of drones. Mind you, they're just like cheap things, like toys. Like, but you can actually control them using like hand signals. It's fascinating.
Is that what on a Wii?
What we can demonstrate on this video is that Brian Mavitt got fit. He can walk.
This is why a lot of people in chat are saying that Brian can't be for real. They think he's a pole, you know what I mean?
But he's not for real. This whole thing's just a game to him. It's just a bit of a laugh. He told me that. So it's all just a joke.
Hey, Peter Griffin can create his own forces. Things
Oh yeah,
orbit around.
Peter Griffin does. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a fan. I don't know what this, but I know who Peter Griffin is. I can know who characters are. I don't have to see their content to know who they are.
It's Peter Griffin and Brian.
It is. It's a hybrid.
Brian, a hybrid dog who's smarter than Brian.
I used to watch a lot of Family Guy. Better than The Simpsons any day.
Yeah, that's the one with the guy in the wheelchair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's fight and talk.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
The stream today is strong. Peter. Dropping frames, and it was bad this stream yesterday, but today we're looking strong.
Oh, good. That's good.
So I'm gonna say another half an hour or so, and then get out of here.
Technology, it's the
Been
future.
a fun one. Been a really fun one today, man.
Well, other than Lemon, obviously.
That's fun.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch later then, I guess.
No, it was good, man. The whole thing. What's up, man?
Not much. Can't stick around long. Just wanted to have a follow up with that super chat that I gave, but it seems Brian's not around. Basically, if anything's in circular motion and it's not in free fall, that is not in orbit. That's what I was trying to get through with that super chat.
Yeah.
If it's not in free fall, it's not in orbit.
It has to be in free fall, but also you said it doesn't need any electricity, but it needs to have a forward force, so it misses hitting the object it's free falling into, you know.
Right. Weight is just the object falling. Is the object following a geodesic? So it's not an external force applied to the object. So, I mean,
you know what?
Mince words at this point.
Objects decay unless you can keep putting a certain amount of forward motion into you. You will decay and you will fall towards, because you're in free fall towards the Earth. if you don't keep putting forward motion enough to keep you up there, you will fall with Earth. So you do need another force to keep you missing the planet. You know what I mean?
No. You need to have the velocity necessary, but that's not applying a force in order to maintain that velocity. That's just conservation of momentum.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but eventually you will fall. You know, every now and
Only
then,
if
all
something else
satellites have
imparts a
to,
force on you. Only if something else imparts a force on you.
No, over time, all orbits will decay and be dragged down to Earth.
Right. Only if something is imparted. So in low Earth orbit, for instance, it's not a non-zero amount of atmosphere there. The reason why a reboost is required is because they're running into the atmosphere, or the atmosphere is imparting a force on the object. The orbit itself does not require a force in order to maintain its orbit unless something else imparts a force on it.
Yeah, well, you were saying it doesn't really require any other forces, but there is forces up there. That's what I was getting to. You know, let's not argue about it. But yeah, okay, it's free fall, but free fall means you're falling towards the Earth. You know.
Right. And if the objects in question in circular motion are not in free fall, it is not an orbit.
So free fall being the object being free fall is the an antecedent to be a orbit.
Necessary, yep.
Necessary
To borrow some terms.
And stuff in free fall falls back to Earth all the time. No bits of rubbish, bits of old spaceships. The orbit eventually degrades. You know.
Right, but something that has escape velocity is also technically in free fall if there's no forces being applied to it. It just has escape velocity and won't fall to Earth, for instance. That's technically free fall motion. It's just going to leave Earth. It's going to fuck off and say bye-bye.
Yeah, but I mean, we are always under a force. We're under the force of gravity, which is even far enough out, it's still going to be trying to pull you towards it. And that's why every now and then you need to add more energy forward so you can continue free fall and listen. You know.
Do you guys put taco seasoning in your macaroni and cheese? Should probably do that.
No, that's crazy talk.
No, you should probably do that.
I just like macaroni and cheese when I'm out. You know.
I
A little
actually,
bit of tomato sauce or ketchup if you call it.
oh, I actually put sun-dried tomatoes in my mac and cheese.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't do mac and cheese.
No, I didn't. I neither. I don't do mac and cheese.
I'm a big fan of mac and cheese. I love it.
I mean, it's just a really terrible version of Alfredo and pasta. It's a really terrible version of it.
Is the slinky orbiting around itself if I just curve the slinky and make it bounce out of itself and then it just keep going around in a perpetual motion? Makes no sense.
You could say it's one body. It's an extended body in circular or in rotating motion.
There you go. I got it on screen. That. Let me paste it right
pull
here.
the phone away from my face.
I'll paste it, on the Daily Boon sensor. Just if you don't want to watch the screen share.
That's interesting. The first demonstration object I used when I wrote a 3D render is actually a torus. So that's hilarious.
Nice. It almost always comes to play when this topic come up, right? This toy object type of thing.
What I'm thinking is, if you had a big enough one of these and took into space and did that around the Earth, would it keep going?
Who knows? How will it behave? It will behave the same, right? In let's say in the ISS, a Slinky, one of the little toys that look like this, the spring.
Oh, it's maybe one of the experiments you could write into NASA to perform, you know.
I think I don't know, but I think I might have seen that somewhere. I don't know. But the behavior of one of those is interesting when talking about gravity and stuff, you know.
Well, that is very interesting. If they took a slinky into the ISS and spread it out in a circle and then let it go, I wonder what would happen.
Yeah, because right now on Earth, if you got it extended, right, if you just hold it in the top and it's just like hanging down, hanging, and if you release the top, the bottom of the slinky will stay in the same position, and then the top will come down, 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 down until it hits the bottom of the slinky, and then when it hit it, then it will open and go down completely.
It kind of reminds me
If
of
you
the
can.
movie the Human Centipede.
Oh no, please don't.
I've never seen it.
I have found a video of somebody, a Japanese astronaut, playing with a slinky on the ISS.
Ah, so it has been
Yeah.
done then. Oh.
Oh, is that the same guy that did the ping pong with the water drops?
It could well be. Let me just let's just do that. There we go.
That's racist.
He was so excited about that. No, come on now.
I just want to share. This is not the best quality, but this is what I explained. You know, like in.
Oh, he's got a slinky with a weight or something stuck to the end, and he's doing all sorts of things with it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, now if they had put a grid behind him, then they would say, "Oh, look, green screen."
Green screen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So you can
don't,
see
please.
better what's going on. I'm not gonna.
And it's
you know,
like when they say, "Oh, that cuddly toy just appeared from nowhere." Yeah, this is for primary school children. They do those sort of special effects when they're doing programs for children sometimes.
Well, they've got a lot of these, what do you call it, teacher program things where they ask teachers to get their pupils to ask NASA to perform, tests in space and that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, the only reason we never got any of that over here is because we haven't got a space program.
Well, we do. We just don't go into space.
Yeah, not much of a space program if you're not going into space, is it?
Well, we helped America with a lot of the stuff they put into space, you know.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know, the Americans had got, you know, their own missions and the shuttle, and then the ISS. The Russians had got their Salyut space stations. The Chinese now got their space stations. What have we got?
Well, we were the first people on the moon. Remember that movie when they fired us out a cannon?
Yeah, precisely my point. We've got fuck all in comparison, you know.
That is kind of embarrassing.
We're still part of the ESA, though, aren't we?
I know, but it's not quite the same, is it? That's why we never had these programs, you know, aimed at school kids, because we hadn't got anyone up there.
Well, we have had British
Bit of a shame.
people go and become astronauts and go up.
Mind you, when I was a lad, it you know, the highlight was watching the first shuttle launch.
Yep, time's good. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a nice one. We'll have that.
Found a comment that was relevant to the earlier discussion.
Who was the flat earth who finally found the zero-G Chinese experiments? Because they're all over suddenly. These were done like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
All that is old is new again. I'm sure they ran into them before. Remember the pin that quote dropped on the ISS?
Yeah, they're still
That was
doing
like, yeah, that was all the rage in like 2017, or was it 2018?
Yeah,
and
this
then it
one
was
was-
all the rage again in 2019, and then it was all the rage again in 2020.
This is the one where they take the ping pong ball and put it underwater, and there's no buoyancy. Then, you know, they're sitting on the table and they kind of unvelcro it, and everyone going, "Why does the water fly out?" And go, "Why should it?"
Yeah.
You want
Already has
regarding that
adhesion.
next, Do what would be good in that experiment though, where they put the ping pong ball in the water, is to actually in the container have a some kind of wire or piece of string attached to the top, and then start spinning it, just slowly. Yeah, that would have been a better complete demo.
If you see the long one, they actually have someone, on the surface of the Earth, and the ping pong, shove the ping pong ball with the same straw, the same ping pong ball, and shove it in the water. And of course, it comes right back up to the surface on Earth.
We're playing with the say none of them would be any representation of gravity. And it's non-effects in certain places, you know.
Brian Mavet was not the MVP today because he just left. He disappeared. He bailed, and that's not that you lost points there. So you stopped being the best presentation today. And
Yeah,
I went
but
back to myself.
he took a phone call. He might have had to go and do something in real life, you know.
I call bullshit. He ran.
Yeah,
I
that one.
asked him if I'm walking around, if a dog is chasing his own tail, does that mean the dog is orbiting a point? And he just muted and disappeared. No, I think he said yes, actually.
Why isn't that ping pong ball floating up to the surface?
Because of reasons.
Because it's in free fall, as is everything else
Yeah,
there.
if you look, they break there. There's the one on Earth that they did the same jar, same.
That's right. They got all the school kids were doing the same thing, and of course, when they put the ball in, it just floats straight to the top. And look in that second image, look at the water curving upwards.
Right.
For the original video, I can play that clip again. I know I got a copyright claim, but it wasn't a hard strike, so I'll just play it again anyway. I don't make enough views to get money from ads and none of that shit anyways. I never make any money with it. So if anybody find me the link original, I'll find the clip when they got it side by side with kinds of stuff. And then we'll get out of here after that.
I still think that'd be more impactful if they swung it round so that you could introduce a centripetal force and show that ping pong ball is in fact not solid and not the same density as the water, but it's in fact a hell of a lot lighter, and this is how you can tell.
Well, one dead giveaway is the fact that well, I guess it's not a dead giveaway. I was going to say that it sits so high on the surface, it wouldn't be the same density.
Yeah, he had to push it under the water. That proves that gravity and density are two different things.
Well, obviously we know that anyway. It's just these flat Earth idiots who've just got to try and come up with something to replace gravity because they're insistent gravity isn't real. And so they come up with, relative density, which is, of course, a unitless volume, somehow being in disequilibrium. Which
Why is that water not level?
I believe is an economics term.
Well, I have a theory. Maybe because you take those water and ball and run them to all the shit that goes on in the launch, all the forces, and they lose orientation. They don't know anymore. They lose contact with what's up and what's down.
It's no more bizarre than a lot of claims these idiots make. So yeah,
Yeah,
this
like
is
the one.
this is like
Like the
this is
rock
conversation. This is conservation of momentum. I just while we're looking in the background, a conservation of momentum little experiment on the ISS. How a little nail object behaves when you.
Oh yeah.
You do it.
It's interesting, though, from this standpoint, the flat earther has a lot to explain with this video because when he pushes it down, the water becomes not level.
Correct.
Play this one, Jose. Play this little short video. It's really cool.
Have you seen the one where they spin the T-bar off?
Oh yes, and it keeps doing all sorts of weird
Yeah.
shit, doesn't it?
That's the intermediate axis theory. That's really bizarre.
I need to know the content creator.
Yeah, I watched a lot of weird stuff a way back when they first started doing experiments in the ISS that they took spiders up to see if they would spin a normal web without gravity.
That's right. Yeah, they've done all sorts of stuff like that, haven't they?
Yeah, they took spiders up there, and they were really bizarre looking webs, weren't they?
Yeah, they couldn't get it together because they had no sense of up and down, you know.
All bugs must have thought they were drunk or something.
You mean gravity?
Yeah.
I think you guys have been too harsh on the spiders. At least they had a go at doing something, unlike every single flat earther we've come across.
This is true. Yes. Yes. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
The free fall.
Yeah, it's a simple
That's exactly
version
what
of
freefall is.
a simple version of that. What that tower they have in Germany is it? It's like 100 meters or something. Where they
Was
drop
that
stuff.
all? We've got a much larger one down the road here.
Is it? I don't know how much it is.
Well, that's how they used to make lead shot, wasn't it? Drop
Yeah.
lead from the top of the tower.
They dropped them through a mesh at high level, and of course the molten lead going through the mesh achieves a certain size, and as it's falling, it forms a ball and cools, and by the time it splashes into the water at the bottom,
You've got a
it's a solid lead ball.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. The one here in Northampton, the National Lift Tower, is 127 meters. My ex abseiled down that for charity.
Farmers, I'm trying to figure this out, and you're confusing me with something that had nothing to do with this video. Why the fuck is this happening? Something weird going on here. Oh,
That's the. What did you? Somebody just said what it was doing.
That's angular momentum disequilibrium.
Just like Max, just like yeah.
It's a bugger. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of scary too.
Trippy.
Yeah, but there's mathematical equations for this, isn't there? Depend on the weight of the object.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
This is also a terrestrial thing. It's just easy to see in where you nullify gravity, but you first observe it when people were. I think it's tennis rackets.
Yeah.
Or the weird force effect is in tennis rackets, which is what.
Hey, here's the one where they're setting up that experiment. I just found it.
Yeah, this one's way cool. Physics behind it are difficult to understand at best.
All right, I got a bunch of links over here. I don't know which one.
In fact, the
most recent one is the one where they actually, I think, before they actually set up the experiment.
I don't want to put a DIY thing or a how to do or how they did it. I just want to put little clips of the thing happening. I don't want to put a long video of explaining and stuff. But it's available in the Daily Boom on Sensor. If anybody want to check on the links, if you got something like this to present, I'll play
It says behind the scenes preparing a lecture at Tiangong. So this is how they set up that experiment with the ping pong ball.
Go! Woo!
Oh, wipe the screen.
Someone was
I haven't
asking.
seen a heavy duty in a while.
I forgot who it was. Someone was actually asking for this video.
There's no full video of that, but it's okay. We'll play.
And when I first saw this, I thought it was more like gelatin or something thicker than water.
Yeah.
Thick, clear pudding.
So buoyancy, guys, depends on gravity. There's no gravity. There's no buoyancy.
Correct.
Look at the water level, mate. It's still tipped over. It's not finding its level.
Oh, we lost about 15 to 20 people in the chat. Must be the flat earthers.
Oh well.
We're about to get out of here. I think.
Well, this is not real experiment. First of all, they don't wear white.
They ain't got lab suits on. Yeah. Where's the lab
coats.
suits? Yeah.
Yeah, lab coat, yeah.
And glasses. Yeah, got to have glasses as well.
Second of all, they didn't measure the parts per million in the water.
What's the independent variable?
Right.
Yeah.
And this is all a bunk. We need to send the Riley to space and do it correctly.
I'm a flat earther. I think you should send me to space. That's the only way I'm going to be convinced that there's real space to be sent there.
Yeah, send Raleigh to space.
That would be a great thing to do. Like as soon as they have commercial space flight, we get all the prominent flat earthers together. You know, someone to pay for their flight.
Yeah.
We can send them up.
Can we make sure? Can we make sure they have a malfunction?
No, it doesn't need a malfunction. It's just a one-way ticket.
Oh,
would you really spend $1,000 of good government money on sending a flat earther to space?
On a one-way ticket?
Yeah.
I just think
send them to the north, to the South Pole, and not give them any fucking cold weather gear.
We send Eric DeBay. We send Mark Sargent. Anthony Riley. Quantum Eraser. We'll send Whitsitt. And anybody who else should we send?
All of them.
So this is Tom Scott. I kind of like him. This is the Bremen drop tower I was talking about. They doubled the width by firing it up first and then having it come back down. So after the acceleration where they fire it up, the rest of it up and down is in microgravity.
We'll send the 3 Bryans and the 4 Nathans, and that will do. Let's get out of here. Let's do some final thoughts. First of all, thank you very much, everybody in YouTube. We had up to 60 people watching at one point earlier, 60 plus people. Thank you so much. If you're watching this recorded or still live and you haven't hit the like button, thumbs up, please do so now. Also, make sure that the subscribe button is already clicked and the bell notification icon. Click on the link on the description box and click on the PayPal link so you can give me money. Click all the buttons around buttons. Make sure to do that. And thank you for your support, PayPal, Super Chat, and just for coming in, hanging out in the chat box, and for coming in, you guys, and hanging out over here on the Discord server daily. Boom! It was a fun one. We had a bunch of people that already left, but you guys that are still here, we want to hear for you. Give us your final thoughts. Let the audience know what's on your mind before we get out of here. Bogov, you're up first.
Fun show, Jose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Shout out to the frogs, by the way. I didn't squeak the earth off. Just one little mini tiny squeak.
Oh, you tease.
Shaik, final thoughts. Discord user. Thank you, Shaik. Thank you, Discord user. Doofus Manfred. Yeah, less hair, less beard. I'm clean. I'm like a normal person. I caught it like a week ago. It's growing too fast, so I gotta already get rid of it. Doofus Manfred, what you got?
I guess I missed the title topic of the show, so I'll have to go back and figure out what Taboo and John D were talking about. But for the bit that I caught right at the end, great stuff. And of course, Brian is as batty as normal. Nothing really changes here in the Flat Earth community. All that is old is new again. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is not a new mic. I already had this mic for over a year now. I just wasn't using it because I'm most of the time out here with the laptop and I had this microphone inside with the PC that is streaming the show. So I said, like, dude, it's already they're getting dust. I'm gonna try it out here, and it works good because it cuts a lot of the background noise coming from the streets, the wind noise, the rain noise, and neighbors yelling and stuff. So I like it. I like it a lot. Earth is life. Final thoughts.
Great show. Just like Doofus said, there's nothing new coming out from Flat Earth, just the same old nonsense, same old people dropping things below tables and looking at things in a distance that don't prove Flat Earth. Yeah, good show, Jose.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Farmer's Boy. Final thoughts.
Hashtag gotta lie to Flurf. I think the top of your show, all of that nonsense proved it. What else can you say? It's a load of old bollocks, and they've got to lie about it. Yeah, no, thank you very much. It's been an entertaining show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hold on. Don't you tell me that this microphone is worse than the one I was using before, man. He says it's not a mic, it's a Flurf potato. Damn. Harsh.
That's a bit harsh.
Fred, final thoughts.
Well, I heard you're sending people to space. Have you planned on bringing them back? Because if there's any plans of a return journey, I have to strongly disagree. Leave them floating. Enjoy it. It'll be a solitary experience, and they will absolutely love it. We can do it, me and you, together as a team. Stuff like that. Running out of words now. Taking things up.
I was just waiting for you to get to the end. And let me know that you are at the end, please.
End.
Okay, thank you very much. We have Gary Waibenga for final thoughts. Mojog Man.
And nothing much to say. Thanks for the show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Turs, final thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for the entertaining show. I thought Brian gave us, a good performance. That was entertaining. I was a bit disappointed with Yellowbird. You know what I mean? The Birdman didn't really perform too well tonight. He didn't have as many scientific bullshit words in his speeches. I think he was a bit lackadaisical tonight, Maybe he's a bit tired or something. Heat stroke, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for the show. I enjoyed it. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a cheap-ass microphone. It's like an Amazon generic mic. It's good. Maono. The Stingray, final thoughts.
Not too much, other than you always find the same thing from flat earthers. These statements where they're criticizing something that no one believes is a thing. And I think it's sometimes our fault that we don't point out that that's nothing to do with us and that we agree. So, for example, Lemon saying that, the atmosphere would burst into a vacuum. Yes, I utterly believe that if there was a boundary, but that's not our model. So whatever that is, you go ahead and you go play with that if you want. Or the same thing with, we should feel motion. Well, that's brilliant. How much motion should we feel? Quantify it. Because we don't believe we should feel the motion of the Earth. Which model are you criticizing? And I think that's the problem with all flat earthers. They have these qualifying statements that are made up, part of their rhetoric, and don't relate to us in any way, shape, and they lack the ability to add numbers to it and justification. And that's the only way that they can sustain an argument, is by arguing with a straw man. Cheers, Jose.
Cheers. Thank you very much. I just gave a demonstration of orbits over here in real life. This is Brian Mabbitt's orbits. Live demonstration. Thank you, Brian Mavitt. We
Wow.
learned a lot today from you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Jose JG out. Boom. Free the frogs, because they say.
Oh, the mic's not picking it up.
Oh, fuck. Oh! Now it's feeling the sound, right? No?
Oh, it is now. Yeah, we got it now. Yeah, it's very temperamental.
Hey, there you go. Boom. Thank you.
Boom.
All right. Let me stop this.